You're watching the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Now it's time for the Brent Austen Show.
Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network. Happy Friday, everybody. Looking at the Jag Stadium. The guys will take off tomorrow for another West Coast trip. Will they finally be able to get it done? We got a breakdown of it. And Robert Saleh's got some interesting comments. I appreciate Robert Saleh because he's given us a lot of things to talk about here on a Friday. We think we've kind of exhausted almost every angle of this football game between the Jags and the 49ers. And Saleh says, nah, we got you, man. We'll provide at least 30 minutes of content for you on a Friday.
Thanks, Robert. Good dude, by the way, Robert Saleh. Obviously, Gus Bradley over there as well, so we're familiar with this defense and kind of the reason I thought Jags and Trevor Lawrence have a real good chance. He's played against this style defense quite a bit and had some success against it, specifically with Gus in Indianapolis. Now, players make a difference, too. And San Fran's defense has been pretty good this year so far, for sure, the way they're giving up points at not a high clip. So they play their system very well. But Robert Saleh, wow. It's interesting. It's like it's the way things go in our world. It's like, wow, because we don't hear it said like that. Did he really say anything? Like, he said it multiple times. Mm-hmm. Hey, they legally do this. And you know this. You're a baseball guy, and this is what I equated it to last night. I mean, I think the Red Sox won one of their World Series because they figured out, was it Kimbrel that was tipping pitches, and they fixed it. You know, somebody had caught on to the fact that he was getting lit up because he was tipping pitches, and then he changed something in it. So, like, baseball does this all the time. When people think of stealing signs, now all of a sudden they think of Houston. This is for a long time. Baseball's been doing this. Right. Well, football, I guess, has been doing this for a long time too, right? That's why they've got all the guys on the sidelines, like, holding stuff up now, and you don't know which guy's calling the plays. You got multiple guys calling in signals. I mean, this isn't really new. It's just kind of interesting to hear somebody say it out loud and also tip the cap, really, to the coaching tree of Sean McVay to say, hey, they're really on point in a lot of this stuff. Now, I do think when you raise the question of stealing, that was an interesting way to phrase it for Saleh. Was this intentional? Was it accidental? Did he know right away he'd kind of stepped in something? But it became something, and it's all over the place when the coordinators talked yesterday in San Francisco. And so we'll get to that in just a short time. Hamby's bouncing off from Stadium Pulse, and you just let us know when you have a little bit of that reaction, or you already got it. Look at you. You're ready to go. But, yeah, we're diving right into this today. We'll also talk a little bit Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. That was a cool night last night. Where the hell were you? The rest of Jacksonville to cover that event, by the way. Pretty good crowd. Not really sure where everybody else was to cover it. I might get on my soapbox on that one. The Ryder Cup is underway, so I got Team USA shirt.
Not a baby.
And we're screwed, all right, because Europe is just better.
Are they already down?
Yeah.
7 o'clock to
They're getting their ass kicked already. Like, it's going to be embarrassing, I think. But for some reason, the United States was a favorite. Well, the reason is because they're on home soil.
That doesn't matter.
Well, it does. The home team has won like 8 out of the last 9 Ryder Cups or something like that. But
is it like the Americans have played there a lot more?
It's just familiarity, but the crowds are so different, right? You know, golf crowd versus what you get here.
Sure.
Well, not right now. Now, those guys are just so much deeper and better. They're just better players than the United States has. It's amazing how much the United States was a favorite in this, and I couldn't believe it. And it's proving out to, again, it's a long way to go. I'm not giving up on them yet. But I think the reality is they're up against it, and they're up against it this morning. Scheffler is down 4 holes through 12.
Oh, boy.
In Henley. It's really been Henley's fault. He can't make a putt. And then Rory, and they were expected to really win that match. They had a big advantage. They're up 4. DeChambeau, they thought that match, they could get off to a good start, down 2. So 3-1 right now in the early matches for the Ryder Cup. Keep an eye on it. I know not everybody's a Ryder Cup guy, but I am. So I'll let you know about it. Tony Khan scheduled to join the show at noon today. Talk a little AEW coming up, and he's always kind enough to answer some Jags questions as well. So he will join us on the show about noon is the scheduled time. Austin's down under, working on the fight. He's cornering a fighter this week in Australia, a Jacksonville fighter, and we'll check in with Austen, I think. We'll see what his situation is. We've got weekend wagers, and we've got our picks and everything else still to come. But let's just jump right into this, because at 10:30, by the way, Liam Cohen's talking, And we're going to try to get his reaction to this. I wonder what he'll say. But here's what Saleh said to kind of get this thing going yesterday, and now over the last 15 hours or so, it's caught on everywhere.
Jacksonville, this is a very young, but it's a very talented group. Liam and his staff, a couple of guys coming from Minnesota, they've got legally a really advanced signal stealing type system where they always find a way to put themselves in an advantageous situation. They do a great job with it. They formation you to try to find any nugget they can. So we've got to be great with our signals, and we got to be great with our communication, and to combat some of the tells that we might give on the field. So they're almost elite in that regard. That whole entire tree, from Sean to Kevin O'Connell to all those guys, they all do it. So so there's challenges. They're going to catch us in some situations where they have the advantage, and we just got to play good, sound, fundamental football and do our best to execute them.
Robert, on that, when it comes to the communication, is there any drop-off? Like, was Bosa the more vocal guy on that defensive line in the games, like specifically in games?
No, I think they do a good job communicating with one another, There's Chris does a great job managing those guys and making sure that everyone's on the same page at all times. So from a communication standpoint, we expect it to still be very good.
Robert, stupid question, but who are they stealing the signals from?
Oh, I don't. That's the ultimate trick. Whether it's people from the sideline or whether it's our individual hand signals, whatever nugget they can find, they catch it, and they always happen to find themselves in good situations based on the coverage you showed. And there's nothing illegal about it, and I'm not suggesting that. It's just you can tell that they've got a CAN system that's getting them into a very advantageous position. It gets them into a very advantageous position multiple times during the course of a game.
Experience it like this? Has this ever happened to you during a game and you're like, wow, they're stealing my signals?
No, it's no. Were there findings? And I was like, damn, how'd they know to get to that play? Yeah. We dealt with it in Minnesota last year. They got us into a couple of situations. You can see it on tape when they're studying. It's like, damn, how'd they know to be in that call at that time? And we've experienced it with the Rams a little bit, but it's not an uncommon thing. They're just this group of people. They're pretty damn good at it.
It's really interesting, right? Like it was wild to watch Twitter react to this, especially Jags fans, right? Like, oh, they're afraid of him. Brian Thomas Jr. about to go off. Trevor Lawrence about to go off. They're going to lose by 3 touchdowns. Like, that was not my interpretation of it at all. But I guess I get, like, they kind of thought he's getting out ahead of it, right? To say, hey, we're going to have a tough time on defense. Like, we're talking about a Jags offense that could hardly do anything on Sunday. I don't really think he'd be saying, oh, my gosh, this isn't Detroit's offense coming in, all right? And they're not scoring 40 a game. So I don't get the sense that this was, hey, let's get out in front of the fact that we might get our butt kicked this week. Yeah. That's not it for me. I really just think his choice he could have said the same thing without saying the word stealing.
Yeah.
And it would have come off as really complimentary to the coaching tree of Sean McVay and the staff of Liam Cohen and his prowess. And now that he's been as a play caller in the last couple of years. And this is something actually that we do know, and he's got it on the same side with Kyle Shanahan. See, there are so many folks in the sport of football that worry about themselves, right? You hear it all the time. Do what you do. Do what you do. Worry about ourselves. If we take care of ourselves, like these are cliches. What makes this coaching tree we think really good, what makes even he's part of the coaching tree, Kyle Shanahan really good, is their knowledge of the defense. Their knowledge of the other side of the ball and how to play that with what they've got. And it doesn't feel like everybody across the league has always done that and even tries to do that. But it really is part of, from Shanahan to LaFleur to McVay to O'Connell to now Cohen. That's what it feels like. And again, this isn't like it's new, but it's definitely more pronounced, I think, with this team, if you will. And so I think like there's a hat tip in all of this is my point. I think this is a very complimentary, hey, they don't miss a beat here, right? I mean, they know what you're doing, and they're going to play off that with what they're calling. And a lot of people are just like, do what you do. Saleh, Gus Bradley, that defense, they do what they do. There are no secrets. Like everybody knows their defense. There are no secrets. Offenses try to get a little more creative. This is why Shad Khan said most predictable team in the league, right? Well, you want to disguise. You want to be able to shift, move people around, make it more difficult on a defense. The thing they add into this is knowing what you do well as well and maybe what call you're in. But that's just a chess match to me. Like, I don't know if this is that big of a thing. I think it's because he said stealing and then had to really say multiple times, legally. Listen, I'm not getting them. They do it in a legal way.
Right.
Which, again, I think has been going on in sports forever.
Yeah, I think it's I think it explains a lot, and it's cool to hear that the Jags are being, kind of credited, because this is the first I'm kind of hearing about that. Again, like you said at the top, you don't really hear much about the inside of the back and forth, like the chess match of signals and all these things. It's cool just to hear that the Jaguars are a step ahead. I think it also explains, Cohen has said in the past couple press conferences that Trevor is canning a lot, right? That was his explanation first of why they didn't run the football more in the first half against Houston. He's like, well, that's what we called, but Trevor canned a lot of them at the line of scrimmage, and he was right to. It wasn't like, hey, I'm trying to defend myself. Trevor, I was calling it, but Trevor wasn't. He was like, Trevor's been right on 95% of the time when he's changing the play at the line of scrimmage. And that's really good. Like, nobody's going to be 100% when they change the play. I think this is an explanation for that. Maybe they're seeing something and they'll be able to communicate to Trevor ahead of time. Saleh says they're able to get themselves in the right play. I think this is, a lot of times you wonder, how exactly are you doing that? Is that all Trevor, right? Is it all Trevor being able to look at the defense, at the indicators, man zone, all that stuff, who's coming free? It has to be some of it.
Yeah, it's a good
because
point.
It's like it's different than college where it's not like the coach can communicate through the green dot at all times.
Well, they're not looking over to the sideline halfway through, right?
Right. But there's got to be some of it, and that's more so the preparation ahead of time. That's Udinsky and all of that staff on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday saying, hey, when you see this, get out and go to the second play call. As far as, Saleh kind of getting out ahead of it, I don't understand necessarily why, again, if he wanted to bring this to light, and I'm not saying he planned to ahead of time or not. I doubt these guys pre-plan really what they're going to say, especially as coordinators ahead of time. But if he did, why wouldn't you have, just said, hey, these guys are really good at picking up tendencies and switching what they do based off of what we're showing as a defense. It's pretty much saying the same thing, just in a different way. And I wanted to also bring up this chat. Let me get to who said it. William Torres says, "Is this bulletin board material for the team, for the Jags, or a nothing burger?"
Yeah, I don't think it's bulletin board material. Again, I don't know why that would be. We'll see how Liam Cohen takes it. I think.
Well, he talks this morning, doesn't he?
Yeah, he talks at 10:30. Yeah, so we're not there obviously, but we'll hopefully be able to see what he says and switch that, flip that around throughout the show. But yeah, I don't understand why it would be bulletin board material. Like that part, I don't really get. Like that, I don't think this is anything to get ramped up about. Heck, it didn't seem like they were using Trevor Lawrence's situation with Houston as much bulletin board material last year, and that was right in front of your face.
Right.
Last week, excuse me. So, and I also don't, again, I think it's Chari says Saleh has given himself a built-in excuse. I don't think that's where it's coming from. Like, I kind of get how people would say that, but first of all, coaches don't do that. All right, that's not part of their DNA. And their defense is pretty damn good. The Jags are concerned about their defense, just to let you know. Like, they are concerned about it. And they should be. The way their offense is played in the passing game specifically, even though they don't have Bosa out there, they should be concerned about it. Logan says, is Saleh explaining it like that due to the coaching cycle and how Shad Khan blew it up?
That's this. A lot of fans joked Jags fans joked, "Oh, well, Saleh's just saying that because he got shafted and didn't get the job."
Didn't get the
and
job.
Cohen did.
Yeah, I don't. Again, maybe there's some more something here. How about we just? This is where I get naive, I think, and believe me, I'm good for a conspiracy theory once in a while. But I know Saleh a bit too, and it could be gamesmanship. I just don't understand why this would be the gamesmanship. Like, this doesn't really make sense as gamesmanship to me. Like, there's nothing to gain by saying this out loud unless he's tired of it as a defensive coordinator and wants the league to know about it. See, that's the only conspiracy thing that I would say, is that this will get the league's attention too, and maybe these guys at defenses, by the way, are having a pretty hard time with Kevin O'Connell, Sean McVay, looks like the running game of Liam Cohen, Cincinnati, when they're healthy, their offense, like Matt LaFleur. Our team's having a hard time figuring out this coaching tree and what they're doing right now. And is this kind of like putting a seed, in the mind of the NFL to say, hey, we're going to look a little bit closer at this behind closed doors. But why now? Like, why now? Like, they've played against Minnesota. They've played against the Rams. Maybe they just have enough evidence to do it. So I really think this is kind of a bad choice of words that is complementary to how smart this group is. The group meaning the tree, but also the group here in Jacksonville. And I think we could take it for what it is and say, hey, it's pretty cool that they respect the wits and brain power of the Jacksonville Jaguars right now. That hasn't always been the case.
Of course.
Right? So, and that's what we've said about this group, from Gladstone to Cohen to Udinsky. What do we talk about? Like, how often do you talk about how smart people are in football? Not a lot. Not a lot. We talk about those guys and how bright they are. And I think, sure, use everything you can to your advantage. Like, this is like nothing illegal. I really think if Saleh had just not used the word stealing, this wouldn't be a story.
Yeah.
Like, I really don't think it would be a story. Now, it's a nice little acknowledgement, but even if you go back and listen, I think it was Foye and Josh Hines-Allen. I feel like I've interviewed those guys, Hamby, in the last few weeks. Maybe it was a little bit toward the end of camp. I get my time and place is all messed up in the last month and a half. But I really feel like I've asked this of one of those guys in particular and said, what makes their offense so good? What makes their running game so good? Because you go against it every time in camp. And they said something similar, like they really play off what you are doing defensively. They're really noting what you're doing defensively. They're reacting a little bit off that and then playing it they're taking all that information. Sure. And again, I go back to, not everybody does that because football's hard enough. We're seeing the Jags have trouble getting lined up, right?
Yeah.
So they try not to make it even more complicated because you have different levels of IQ, different levels of football IQ, that is, different levels of being able to process information on that offense from receivers to linemen to quarterback to running backs. You've got to have everybody on the same page. So it makes sense that everybody's like, hey, I'm going to worry about us. We're going to worry about us. We're going to do these things well, and let's make sure we do these things well. And people for years and years have had a lot of success doing that. We do us, right? I mean, and we're going to do it really well. I think these guys have twisted that a little bit, and so much to the point that even Liam Cohen has had to slow himself down the last couple of weeks and admitted that he's kind of outsmarted himself at times. Because I think he wants to take this to another level with this group, and they're not ready for it right now. So I think, to me, there's threefold. Like, this isn't a story if he never mentioned stealing. It was a bad use of words, most likely, because stealing is not legal. Stealing comes across as illegal. So bad choice of words, even though he used legal in it. The other one is, I do think this is a hat tip of, hey, these guys are pretty good. Like, these guys know what they're doing. There's a lot more thought around this. And you might not have to deal with that in the past with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And then the flip side of it here is, hey, it's an acknowledgement of what we've been saying since these guys were hired. It's a smart group. Now, what did I say all offseason? I don't know if smart wins you football games automatically.
Right.
But it certainly looks like smart can help you get in a better position to win football games. And we've already seen that, I think, with Liam Cohen from last year with Tampa to already here as the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And we even credit James Gladstone in this in his process in the front office and how he attacked things so far as well. So, yeah, that's where my take is on it, more than, oh my gosh, Niners are scared of the Jags. Saleh's mad about not getting the job. I don't really feel like.
Here's my question, though. If the Jags do have kind of like an advanced system to be able to see those hand signals and all that stuff on the sideline, I'm wondering how much they would attribute their success to that. As in, is Liam Cohen in his initial interview with Shad Khan way back when in the hiring process talking about, hey, I think this is what I bring to the table. Here are 15 things. One of those is I have a step ahead of a lot of defenses because I have this down, right? Is it that big of a thing, or is it just like, hey, that's not really mentioned? That, he's more so focusing on just his general play calling, and that's smart enough? Or is this a big contributor where he's like, yeah, and we're going to bring in Udinski from Minnesota, and he's really good at it too. And we're going to bring in this guy, and he's really good at it too. So I can tell you from day one that our offense, as soon as we have the guys in place, are going to be a step ahead of a lot of defenses because we're good at this, and the rest of the league across the board hasn't caught up yet. Would they attribute that much to it, or would they downplay it? I'm curious to see what Liam Cohen says in that regard at 10:30 in a couple of minutes here. Does he downplay it and just like, yeah, that's just one of, a million different things that's part of our system, of part of the reason of how we call offense and how we operate? Or if he was honest, I'm not saying that he wouldn't be, and fully, kind of behind the curtain, would he say, man, this is a big part of why we have a lot of confidence in the way that we do things?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what he says, but I'm going to take you something that he already has said, and I can't go back and find it right now because he talks like 3 times a week, so I don't remember which one it was. Mm-hmm. But it was about 2 weeks ago. It's either a Wednesday or a Friday. I want to say it feels like more of a Friday news conference question. That might have been as soon as last week, but probably 2 weeks ago before the Cincy game is where I'm thinking it is. But he actually said, somebody asks him about like his running attack stuff. Like, why has he been? Because again, the Jags were leading after 2 weeks, so maybe it was last week. But they asked him a little bit about that, right? And like, we're in the coaching. It was kind of like this whole big picture. Where do you think you really elevated as a coach? Or somehow he answered with something like this, where he said, when I got to L.A. and I walked in that building and was around Sean McVay, I was like, whoa. And this was in 2018, I think it would have been. Like, whoa, I'd never seen this before. And what he was talking about, and he even says it, he's like, McVay really knew how to break down a defense. And he talks about that. He talks about, like, utilizing that information to help their side of the ball. So he admits, like, he learned this from McVay, from that tree, and obviously everybody else is doing the same thing. So that was something that was almost like this epiphany, this aha moment for Liam Cohen, who had been around coaching forever, right? And had seen a lot of different styles and places and coaches and offenses. But he credits going back to that time when he first got to L.A. and seeing McVay break down these defenses as part of the weapon and plan and attack of an offense. And I think if you go back to that just a couple weeks ago, like that's what Saleh's talking about. Like that's what he's said it. So now when the sign stuff comes in, somebody just asks like, hey, don't they get it through the headset? Well, yeah, but much like the offense, they've got cans as well. And that's what Saleh says. Like they're going to get out of a play on defense based on what the offense is doing. And so there's this chess match going on where if they get out of the play that was initially called, now it seems like the Jags have been taught, Trevor has been taught, Liam's pretty good at notifying and seeing what they're getting into, what their alternative is, which I would think would be a little bit easier from an offense to see what the defense is doing because the playbook is a lot less. So once you master what a defense is trying to do, if you really take that into account, I mean, the playbook on offense is so much more broad, right? You can do so many more things. The defense is going to guess more in general. I mean, defense is at a disadvantage from a lot of different vantage points. That's why we're seeing illegal shifts, because they need, hey, you can't keep tricking us with this too, right? So, I think a lot of this is common sense, hat tip, smart stuff, and it's just cool, I think, that the Jags kind of have that part of it. We have said this for the whole 6 months of this new regime, and this is where Shad Khan said, he opened the door to this, like, we're too predictable. We're the most predictable team in the league. Well, eventually they land on two very intelligent people to help lead this organization, and everybody knows it. Ask Tony Baselli about James Gladstone, he's like, whoa. First time we asked him about it. Ask him about Liam Cohen, dude's smart. I mean, they actually say these things. They don't say that about a lot of coaches that we've run into in Jacksonville. Not to say they're not bright, smart, know the game, all those things. It's just that it's different levels, so it's noticeable. Right. And then on top of that, there's the communication aspect, which both of these guys are really good at, like really good at. So now can you get your football team to follow in that same path? So I just think it's really cool that this is being acknowledged outside of Jacksonville as well. And it feels like something that we've begged for, that the Jags are on the front edge of this still. This doesn't seem like it's, people are still trying to catch up to it, and the Jags are doing some of these things. This isn't what I would call the Seattle experiment, where you were trying to chase what Seattle was doing, but the league had almost moved on or was in the process of moving on at times from what you were trying to chase in Seattle, whether it was 2021 Urban or even the Gus Bradley, Dave Caldwell build. By the time you got to 2015-16, we're almost past that and onto something else in the league. This feels like, hey, we're still in the present. Are we on the super forefront of it? Maybe not, but we're still in the present of, hey, Jags will be able to run the ball and do their thing for the next year or two until somebody figures something out, because I haven't figured it out, quite frankly, with this coaching tree. And that doesn't make you unstoppable, by the way. It just gives you a little bit of an advantage, it seems, on certain plays, and we'll see if it does against San Francisco. It's fascinating. Pretty cool. All right, let's do this. Take a break. Brent Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. Austin, probably jump in. We've got a full cast of characters here today on the show. Liam Cohen about ready to talk, so we'll tell you what he has to say about this whole thing. I can't imagine he says that much, though. Like, this isn't going to be a beef. That's my point. I don't think it is. It's not bulletin board material. It's not a beef. It's just, pretty cool. I don't think it impacts the game at all. I mean, maybe people disagree, but I don't think it does. We'll find out. We'll be back. Waiters on the weekend. We got some work to do just to stay in front of those guys, Hamby.
Big one.
Yeah, I got to get another win here. We'll show you those in the noon hour here today. Plus, Tony Khan scheduled to join us at 12 o'clock as well. Speaking of smart guys in the Jags organization, he's one of them. We'll be right back. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models, or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at NimnickBuickGMC.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
Putting your needs first. It's the backbone of how First Florida Credit Union does business. In all honesty, you might as well be speaking another language when it comes to finances. Sure, I'm good with my money, but what am I missing in the fine print? That's what led me to First Florida Credit Union. They're the perfect choice for anyone starting their financial journey because they keep finances easy. Plus, they offer financial education and resources I can trust. So I'm always growing more confident. And as a young adult, I am constantly adding more responsibilities to my plate. From a car payment to a mortgage, it all adds up. Luckily, First Florida Credit Union makes sure it adds up in all the right places and not the wrong ones by offering better rates and lower fees than traditional banks, even if you're still trying to grow your credit. Because as a member-owned institution, First Florida genuinely puts people's needs first rather than focusing on profit. So I know as my needs change, they'll be right there to help me reach my goals. Check out firstflorida.org to learn how you can benefit too.
It's one of the hot spots in the area.
Welcome you to String Sports Brewery out at the beach. Big crowd on hand tonight. The fans are here.
And now, the newest hot spot at the beach is open. String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach has opened its doors with rave reviews.
We're going to be fans forever.
Cozy up to the bar. Grab a seat in the sports-themed restaurant, or grab a seat outside and feel that breeze coming off the beach as the weather warms. Just like the original location in Springfield, try the popular beer menu and come for lunch or dinner too, because the food is fantastic.
We got a special guest in the house. He's happy. He's feeling good. He's Trayvon Walker.
It's where we hosted Jags Report Live in the football season, and the String Sports Brewery staff can't wait to host you. Hey, welcome back here to String Sports Brewery. And if you haven't checked out the new location in Jax Beach, you got to do it. String Sports Brewery, now with 2 locations in Springfield and now open in Jax Beach on Penman Road.
Hi, I'm Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville. Whether you're looking for a side-by-side, ATV, motorcycle, or scooter, Honda has what you need.
The Honda Talon. Ultimate performance meets family-friendly fun. Prices starting at $363 a month. Or the sporty Honda CBR 650 starting at an affordable $204 a month.
Stop by and choose your adventure from a full line of Honda products. Only at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard. Family owned and operated since 1983.
Hello, I'm Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Since 2003, our firm has fought exclusively for the rights of men in family law. Divorce, modification of child support, alimony, custody, and more, all for men. A father is vitally important to a child's life, and being a man is not a reason to pay more in child support or alimony. I'm a single father. I get it. If you have a divorce or other family law issue, contact Kenny Lay & Associates at divorcemenonly.com.
CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing is taking their 75-plus years of expertise and expanding to CGC Home Services. Water treatment and plumbing is still a big part of what they do, and now they can do even more for you. Home services like kitchen and bathroom remodeling, showers, sinks, faucets, toilet repair, backflow testing, and the list keeps going. Find all they can do at cgchomeservices.com or give them a call, 904-298-7052. It's a new look and a new name with the same expertise. They've been serving homes like yours since 1946. CGC Home Services, right here in Jacksonville off St. John's Bluff Road, 904-298-7052. And visit cgchomeservices.com. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
We got sound up on this? Or we just have video? This is video? It's all right. What's that?
Let me see.
I can't hear it if it's trying, but that's all right. That's the Jumbo Shrimp from high above as they win the International League Championship Series last night, Game 3. And, it's kind of a confusing deal right now because, like, that to me, they just won it. And then they're going to do this goofy swing. There we go.
Slider in the dirt. Strike 3. Shrimp win. An extraordinary season. The sweetest moment is an International League Championship. The first in the Jumbo Shrimp era and the first for Jacksonville in AAA since 1968. Jacksonville 7, Scranton Wilkes-Barre 4.
That's pretty cool. Good call by Scott Kornberg. He's the play-by-play man, one of the broadcasters for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. We've had him on the show before. He's called Miami Marlins games quite a bit as well. And, again, cool scene. The weird part about all this, before we get back into the Liam Cohen stuff, is so they win the International League Championship, and that's kind of like the International League and the AAA and the Pacific Coast League. They've been long time, members. Well, I guess recently they started to do this one game for all the marbles of AAA after they win their respective leagues. So, in my opinion, the Shrimp won the championship. But in the grand scheme of AAA, there's one more game to go on Saturday in Las Vegas. So they got to fly to Las Vegas today, play one game against actually Las Vegas because Vegas won. It was going to be in Vegas either way. And then that one will determine if you're the AAA champ. Screw that. They might get it anyway, but they're the champ. They're the International League champions. That thing's stupid. The best of three at least. Well, we're going to have a one-game playoff? That's dumb. Isn't it dumb?
Yeah, I think it's a little clowny. I mean, if you win your championship and you don't, in the history of it, don't normally play a one-game decider, then...
Yeah. Now, they might be better than them. They might win that one, too, and good for them if they go celebrate and they've got it all. I'm just saying, to me, this is the bigger thing, that they won last night at home. This wasn't like a divisional round and you move to the next round. No, it's like there's two different championships. Might as well be soccer. You can't keep track of all the different championships. But this was a really cool night. It was fun to be there. It was neat. Listen, we don't cover post game of the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. We'll go cover their games and some during the summer. It's a long season. But this team has been really good all year, right? They were fantastic. 87 wins, I think it was, in the regular season. They had that crazy run early in the season. They finished off the first half with an epic rally to win the first half, which would clinch this home field advantage that we saw this week. And guys up and down to the big leagues the whole year. I think I saw somewhere the Phillies dugout, the Miami Marlins, were all watching this game because so many of them have played here in Jacksonville. So they felt a part of it. So that was pretty cool. I think Pensacola said the Wahoos have sent 10 to the Jumbo Shrimp this season that were currently on the roster. I think 26 of them played throughout the year or something. So just a pretty cool deal. And you win. I mean, to win is fun and champagne celebration. And they had to hang on now at the end. They scored 7 in the first 3 innings and then had to hang on for dear life. The tying run was on the plate. They had given up 4 in the 9th and got a little dicey there, but they ended up getting it done. So pretty cool. And first time in the playoffs since 2017, I think it was, for this organization. First time to win a championship since the Suns won in 2013 as the Southern League champs. And they had won a few of them, at least in my time here, since 2008. So they had a nice little run going. And prior, AAA-wise, now the Shrimp haven't been AAA. This organization has been AAA very much over the last few decades. But they won a AAA championship back in 1968, as Scott said. So fun stuff. We might hear from David Carpenter, the manager, maybe a couple players throughout, and celebrate with the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp because we were there for it all last night, live on TV from 10 to 11:30. It was a lot of fun. It was cool. Good crowd. Not unbelievable crowd, but I think good crowd, and they were pretty happy with it. Would have liked to see a little bit more push for this series over the last few weeks to get people there and make it even a bigger deal. But overall, heck of a year for the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp. Brent Martineau, along with Jason Hamby, and Casey Kurtz will be by a little bit later. Austen Lane, we figure we'll check in too. Oh, and he might be checking in just a moment. Yeah, I think he is ready. All right, what do you want to do, Hamby? Let me help you out because I don't want to push too many buttons. You want me to hear from Cohen first, or you want to get Austen in?
Let's go down under.
Let's go down under and talk to Austen Lane. Very good. We're, by the way, in Perth, Australia. It is 10:45 at night. I can do that. 12 hours. That's it. It's easy.
Nicely done.
So hope you're having a good Friday there, man, as yours is almost in the books. We're about to hear from Liam Cohen, and I don't know how much you've been able to catch because I know you're busy getting ready to corner for a fight this weekend in Australia. But did you catch the Robert Saleh comments that have made their ways all over social media?
Well, of course, man. I've been in the sauna now off and on for like the past hour. So I've, and being in the sauna, helping my teammate cut weight. So I've had an opportunity to kind of dissect everything and just kind of laugh at the overreaction that has caused from just one soundbite in like a 10-minute interview that I'm sure nobody watched in terms of what he was referring to. So that's the internet for you.
It really is, right? Like, here's what I said, just to recap quick, if you're jumping in on this Saleh stuff, and to recap for you, Austin, I think if Saleh doesn't say the word stealing, this is not a topic at all. But there's like legally stealing sounds like you're complaining about something, because stealing and legal is an oxymoron, basically.
Yeah.
So I think there's that. I also think what he was really trying to do, I believe, was compliment and say, these guys are smart, man. We got to be really prepared because they know what they're doing. And then the last part of it is, to me, this is a bit more evidence of what we've been saying for the last 6 months, that this group is bright and smart and a little bit ahead of people in some areas at times. And what Saleh referenced, it's not just Cohen or Udinski. It's really the entire coaching tree of Sean McVay that leave no stone unturned.
Yeah, I mean, if you take that entire interview into consideration of what he said, because it was just kind of a chunk that got taken out, but it was more of, I guess, a compliment to the Sean McVay coaching tree. And it has to do with the pre-snap reads, it has to do with motion, it has to do with sometimes quarterbacks will get under the center really quickly to try to draw a team off sides. But like what he's talking about essentially, and I get the whole term stealing probably isn't the best like verbiage to use, but that's exactly what it is. Like, there's a reason why teams use a lot of motion, like the Sean McVays, like the Kevin O'Connells, like, Liam Cohen, because in doing that, when you go into motion, you can find out if you're in man or if you're in zone. But also, if you kind of go up tempo a little bit, which, Sean McVay, especially when he first burst on the scene, was big into doing that. When you go up tempo, that puts the defense in a predicament because you're at the mercy of the offense, right? So you can't just get in a huddle, and go over your calls and everything. You have to go quickly. So if you go up tempo and you go quickly, and I'm on defense and I can see, okay, the quarterback's getting ready to snap the ball. On the defensive line, it's pretty much the same stuff, right? Like there's a couple of formations that we look at, and then you can adjust accordingly. But from the linebackers in the secondary, well, it's not like that because you can have a 3-by-1, you can have, 2-by-2. Like there's different things that you have to look into. So if that's the case, you have to use hand signals to identify what kind of coverage you're going to be in. So that's where up tempo and that's where zone cover, and that's where the motion comes into play, where basically using the hand signal to try to communicate really quickly before the ball snap. That's what he's referring to. It's not like Liam Cohen's in a press box, like he has a guy in a press box with binoculars and he's looking on the sidelines to see what teams are calling. It's just referring to the up tempo of the Sean McVay offense and the emotions of the Sean McVay offense that can kind of give you some details in terms of what a defense is going to be in because they're under pressure and they're under stress.
Yeah, I think that's a very good point. So in this whole coaching tree stuff, they have to eventually or essentially relay these teachings to the quarterback, because the quarterback and maybe other players on offense are the ones that are really going to be the identifiers here, right?
Correct. Yeah, I mean, it's really all in the quarterback, right? Like, and this is something where, you kind of have your first drive of the game and maybe you see something and then you come back to the sideline and all of a sudden, maybe a guy like a coach, maybe it's Liam Cohen goes, hey, so when they put their X up to try to, do the signal, that means they're in cover 2. So be alert for the X, watch that cover 2, and then we can build off that, right? That's all I was referring to, is every defense, if you watch, I watch a lot of defensive line, obviously. But if you watch in a game on defense and it's up tempo, you're going to see guys on defense in the secondary communicating with their hands. And that's saying basically what coverage they're going to be in.
Yeah.
So, we can watch TV and pick that up as well. It's just the fact is that it happens so quickly that it can be hard to read.
Yeah, and by the way, I when I sat down with Trevor Lawrence at the end of August, he said something. Again, I pick up some of these things, and I don't know how big a deal they are at the time. But when we get stuff like this, or we even get like the Travis Hunter from soundbite weeks later about he's going to play the one position, right? And these things get confirmed, then it kind of drives my mind back to some conversations. And one of the conversations with Trevor Lawrence is he said something to the effect of, not a knock on everybody else that I've been under, but I'm learning stuff, and these guys are seeing stuff and showing me in a totally different way is basically what he said. They've opened my eyes. I think that was the exact phrase he said. They've opened my eyes to things that I didn't even know were there. So, and I think maybe even this kind of goes back to that. I don't know exactly what Trevor was talking about. It could be a volume of things, but this might be one of the things. And also why there's some complication to learning the offense and everything else, specifically for the quarterback. But they've been very impressed with that part of how he's maybe seeing these things that are being presented from the defense as well. In fact, just on Wednesday, Trevor said, hey, I feel like I'm operating it very well. I'm getting into the stuff. I feel good about all these things. Now it's just about executing a little bit better throws or better catches and cleaner stuff without penalties. But it kind of all starts adding up, Austen, to me about where these guys are and maybe even where Trevor is. But I'm with you here. I don't think this is a major deal, but I think the fact that he said stealing really was a bad choice of words, because if you don't say stealing, I don't think this is a topic today.
But okay, and fair, like this is like I'm not surprised by any of these comments or anything. Like I said it during the preseason. Like one of the biggest compliments I can give to Liam Cohen, like what he brings to the table over any other coach that we've seen, is that I think some offensive coordinators or some coaches that call the offense, they're so ego driven where they think that their offense is going to work no matter what. And then there's some coaches out there or coordinators that they essentially look what the defense is doing and then they incorporate off that. That's just what Liam Cohen's doing. And like, yeah, the whole stealing thing, I mean, we can make a big deal about it, but like, what else would you really call it though? Like, I mean, that's exactly what the point is. Like, they're taking what the defense is doing and their signals and everything, and they're using it to their advantage. Like, it is stealing. It's legal stealing or whatever Robert Saleh, was saying, but like, it's nothing new. Like, he just kind of like peeled back. Like, listen, we want to be so complimentary about Liam Cohen peeling back the curtain and like, giving us the X's and O's all the time, in Jacksonville in terms of just understanding the game. Robert Saleh just did the same thing. It's just that he used the word stealing, so now all of a sudden we got an issue with it.
Yeah. I don't, by the way, because I think you're right. I think it's fresh. I like it. I mean, but I do think if he said tendencies instead of stealing, like they're really good at picking up on tendencies, I don't think it's a story. Like, it's crazy. Just like simple as that. I don't think it's a story. Listen to Liam. By the way, I don't think, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this also. I think you'll be able to see it, but I don't really get the idea that Liam Cohen was happy about all this. And he didn't just brush it off like we are maybe right now. But here he is a short time ago. There's 90 seconds of it at his news conference where he didn't want to go into great detail. But I think usually he goes into great detail, so that's one thing. And secondly, you can tell by the body language of Liam Cohen that I don't think he was too happy with the idea of this being brought up yesterday by Saleh.
Is there any thoughts to that? I mean,
yeah, I'm not going to speak on that fully right now. Have a huge game for us coming up this weekend. Got a great defense that we've got to go and attack, and that's where our whole mindset and mentality is right now.
Were you surprised he went there?
Yeah, again, we're really trying to focus on a darn good defense that we have to go and try to go attack and offensively get better, about us getting better, putting it together for 4 quarters and trying to create some explosives in the pass game, some of those things that we're, trying to get better at as an offense. And so that's where the focus is right now.
Forgetting his comments, isn't that part of coaching, is trying to figure out whatever tell your opponent has?
Yeah, I mean, we have kind of typically, by formation, by game plan, by working really hard as a coaching staff throughout the week, trying to get indicators by your formation, motion, shift, pre-snap. Those are the things that you're trying to do as a coach if you're trying to put your players in the best position to be successful, whether it's attacking man or zone coverage with your formations, motions, and concepts. So it's a lot of hard work that goes into game planning and trying to put your players in the best position to be successful.
So there it is. He kind of went into it a little bit at the end, just saying what it is or that we think it is. In the early going, he didn't want anything to do with it. And I feel like this might be the second time that Cohen hasn't been happy with an opposing coach, because I'm really sure he loved the whole Sean Payton saying in the media that Jacksonville was interested in the wide receiver thing in August either. So, this dude's got some edge to him, and he ain't here to, I think, make friends either. I don't think he's liked a couple of things so far that have transpired. And I don't necessarily know why he would be that bothered by this one, other than I think, again, it gets the attention, takes some attention away from whatever they've got to focus on. And I think, Austen, like, my only conspiracy theory part of this was Saleh trying to say something to the league office in New York, like, hey, you need to take a closer look at what these guys are doing, not just Jacksonville, but what these guys are doing.
I don't think so, because like, once again, like, this is nothing new. Like, and he even talked about it in the press conference. Like, the Rams do it, the Vikings do it. Like, I don't know. Like, see, to me, here's what I take away from it. And this was my initial thought when I first heard the comments, and then I went back and actually watched his entire presser. And I don't know what his numbers are against, like, O'Connell. I don't know what his numbers are against McVay. I don't know if he's had a lot of success or not. This is gamesmanship.
Yeah.
Like, to me, this is a defensive-minded coach. Like, this is a defensive coordinator who just lost one of his star edge rushers, who maybe is looking for a little, like a little narrative to maybe boost his defense up a little bit and maybe get a little competitive advantage. And I think that maybe what's going on right now, because you just saw that press conference from Liam Cohen. How many times did he just get asked about Robert Saleh's comments? How many more times has Robert Saleh got to stand in front of the media and answer for the stealing question? He's done. He's a defensive coordinator. Like, you're not going to hear from him until probably next week again. So to me, this could be a little gamesmanship and going, okay, maybe Liam Cohen's a little bit of a, wears his emotions on his sleeve, which, we celebrate in Jacksonville and everything. Let's see if we can get him a little riled up.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, because I kind of wondered the same thing. I thought the same thing initially, as you just said. I thought it was kind of like, okay, but then I come back to, well, what's a real advantage? I mean, it's not like Liam's playing. So we'll see. Here's last year for San Francisco, because Saleh was the guy there last year, right? Was he there last year? No, Nick Sorensen was there.
No, yeah, because he was Jets and then went to help out LaFleur.
He got fired.
He went to help out LaFleur.
Yeah,
my bad. Well, here's what, just for the heck of it, the 49ers defense did last year against this tree. Minnesota, they gave up 23 points in a 23-17 loss to O'Connell, 403 yards. They 27 points to the Rams, 27-24. They gave up only 300 yards total, not even. They played the Green Bay Packers, gave up 38 points and 325 yards, so it wasn't like must have been some pick sixes or something in that game. The Rams, the second time around, 12-6, they lost and gave up 300 yards. So it's not like the 49ers defense last year performed poorly against these kind of offenses. Now, again, Saleh was not the guy, but they basically run a lot of that Saleh stuff and the Gus stuff and everything else for a long time now in San Francisco. And you just brought up another interesting point, right? I mean, first of all, he knows what Shanahan does on the offensive side. So he's kind of telling on Shanahan, too. He's part of the tree. And then he also knows what LaFleur did in Green Bay, who's also part of the tree, because he was part of that staff. So that's why I just don't think this is much like you. I know we're just talking about it a lot, but that's because everybody's talking about it. And it is interesting to hear it. So it's kind of a fun topic. I just really don't think it matters at all in this football game.
No, I mean, it really doesn't, because, like, once again, the whole reason why he brought it up in the first place was because they asked about just, like, the offense that Liam Cohen comes from. And then he mentioned the McVay coaching tree. And then he broke down, like, okay, Kevin O'Connell, Liam Cohen, Sean McVay. Like, he wasn't purposely just going after Liam Cohen and said, okay, this is my opponent for this weekend, so, like, let me call him out. And, like, I know that probably sounds like I'm making, like, a big, like, apology for Robert Saleh for saying it. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I'm completely indifferent towards it more than anything.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on that. So, hey, kind of fun stuff. What the heck? Hey, did you get to see any of the game last night, or because it's it was early? So did you wake up?
I saw
and
the
watch
game
football?
this morning.
This morning,
yeah,
that's
man.
right.
I had a little brunch and watched probably like 2/4 of the game. Yeah, I mean, I saw Casey talking smack in the group chat about Kyler Murray in the first half, which I didn't really get to see the first half. And then the second half, it looked a little better for the Cardinals. Close game, but obviously. And here's the thing. I get the whole new kickoff rule is trying to implement a lot more points and everything, but to me it takes a little bit out of it, right? Because as soon as like that penalty was the flag was thrown and everything on that kickoff, and they get the ball in the 40 or whatever it was, it's like, okay, well, this game is pretty much all but over.
Yeah, that is the problem with the kickoff stuff. But you got to be pretty good in the kicking game. So I think you're right here. What we're seeing is the idea that they want returns and more, make it a football play, more fun rather than a touchback, which is a nothing play, has really put the emphasis and the onus on the kicker. And we wonder how good. Even our guy here in Jacksonville has struggled a little bit with it at times, and he's good. Like, everybody loves Cam Little, but he hasn't been great in this area so far this year. And I think everybody's trying to figure it out right now. But you do kind of hand the game to someone when you give it to them at at that spot. And especially with how good kickers are in terms of distance now. And I wonder if there's some kind of middle ground we can reach on this kickoff thing if this continues to be a problem like that.
Yeah, I mean, because let me ask you guys this question. I get, we're fan. Well, Brent, you're not, but like fantasy, you can score. There's more points being scored now just because you get the ball and sometimes 35 to 40-yard line, and that's great and everything. But like, do you think it's worth in terms of taking like the yardage and everything away? Because we as fans, we incorporate the stats so much to how good a player is, especially on offense. Right? Like how many 300-yard games have we seen from quarterbacks this year? Not too many, if like maybe one or two. I have no idea, but like I feel like it hasn't been a lot. Like a 300-yard game kind of used to be the standard, it felt like, for an elite quarterback.
Yeah.
And now that's kind of fallen by the wayside. So like my question to the NFL is, okay, maybe you are scoring more points and everything, but like, is it worth taking away all those big time numbers of like passing yards and everything? Because to me, like, people, I think, want to celebrate that more than what the final score is.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. Because you're shrinking the field, right? With all this stuff.
Correct.
The kickers are already shrinking the field. Now, some of this, in my opinion, has been this newfound balance of bringing the run game back. I think we went for so long, all these 300-yard games, because nobody was running the football at all. Like, we wondered if the running back was about extinct. Well, that running back has been brought back into play in the last 3, 4, 5 years. It's kind of flipped a little bit. I don't know if it's totally flipped. It isn't 1995, but it's certainly way more of an added part of the game that people are trying to accomplish, and whether that's one back or two backs in most of these offenses. So I think the balance now, I mean, it's funny. If you look at over-under on a passing quarterback, like in a game, even Justin Herbert, whoever, it's like 238 yards. Right? I think to your point, if you go back to 6, 7 years ago, you had that same thing. Some of these quarterbacks, it would have been 272 or something like that. So there is no doubt that is a difference. Ryan says he heard the league average for offense per game this year is 317 yards per game. Lowest since 2005, Austen.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds right. Like if you watch the product, that's what it seems like. I mean, I remember watching that Ravens-Lions game, and they punted and got the Lions within like the 5-yard line and everything, and then the Lions drove 98 yards to score a touchdown. People were celebrating that like they're gonna win like the Nobel Prize, just because like we don't see that anymore. It's just it's crazy how they've shortened the field and everything. And like I said, I mean, I don't know if I speak for the majority or the minority, but I can appreciate putting the ball in the 20 or the 25-yard line and having to drive 75 to 80 yards to go earn your touchdown. Now it's just like, okay, put it on the 40 or whatever and, drive 20, 30 yards, kick a field goal, you're all good, right? It's just, the game's changed, and I understand that. And once again, maybe I'm in the minority of everything, but I appreciated offenses that put up a lot of yards and can drive the field and make it harder on the defense more than I appreciate points being scored.
Well, it's interesting. I don't think you're alone in this, because I think more people would love more fantasy points and get excited about it. But I also think there's this interesting counter argument to everything that you're saying, because if the yardage is lower, sure, there are factors of where are you starting field position, how long you can now kick field goals where you're willing to take 3 points potentially. But I also think you can counter that with guys are going for it way more than ever before. Like way more than ever before. I mean, not just 4th and inches or 4th and 1, but 4th and 2 and 3. And you're like, damn, kick the field goal, man, right? So we're even saying that at times. Plus, I think the defenses are better than a lot of the offenses. The offenses, maybe because they're trying to be complex like the Jags, are running into penalty problems. But I also believe we all think and know now that the defensive fronts are just better than the offensive lines almost automatically in most instances. So the defense, in a weird way, has such an advantage up front that they can wreck everything. And I guess while you're saying, hey, I'd love to see someone go drive 85 yards, 80 yards, it's harder and harder to do. So therefore, the points would be way down if they didn't give them this kind of starting field position. But I think there are counter arguments to make, is my point in all of that.
No, for sure, because then, I could try to counter that point and say, well, when you start on the 35 or 40 yard, the 40 yard line and everything, teams are probably more inclined to go for it just because, like, hey, we'll be back there again, right? Yeah. So are we going to settle for 3 points, or are we going to try to drive down the field and get a touchdown? So I think it's all relative, right? But I would much rather see a team start from the 20 to 25 yard line and try to drive the field, because then I think if that's the case, then you're not going to see as many teams go for it on 4th down over the field goal and everything, just because, maybe getting across nowadays, getting over midfield is like you expect it.
Yeah.
Like if you don't get to midfield, then what are we doing as an offense? Right. Yeah. Like there was a time where, you get to midfield, that's kind of a big deal. Now it just seems like it's the standard of this game.
Yeah, one other note, Ryan brings this up too, and this is something we talked about a lot last year, I remember. He said starting last year, most teams running cover 2, taking away big-time throws, and just people are not giving up the big play, right? They're making you go down the field, and then they bend but don't break type thing. But we talked a lot about that last year, that whole defensive shift and how that was happening in the NFL. Because, listen, the defenses had plenty of these arguments for like the last 10 years. PI calls, all the rules favoring the offense. I feel like we've seen a little bit of a punch back on the defense, either schematically or even just again. I just think the fronts are so much better. I don't know if anybody could have seen this coming, that the athlete is so good up front that the offensive lines just can't handle them. They just can't. And more people they have more of those than you have good offensive lines. It's a supply and demand thing. And that's, I think, pretty common sense right now to anybody who watches football at any kind of level. And it's just a fact of the matter, which is going to create probably offenses to struggle a little bit more and not have the time to throw it deeper, too, for some of those explosive plays. Let's take a break. Get on track. You going to stick with us for a little bit, Austen?
I probably got maybe 10 to 15 more minutes if you guys want to keep me.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and I want to ask you about the fight at the very least. So we'll come back, talk a little bit about the fight before we let you go. And we really just want to see this AI picture up there for a little bit longer.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that.
We'll be back. Brent and Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network. And we've got high school football tonight. We've got a little bit of everything going on this week. Game of the week up in Georgia. How about Brunswick and Glenn Academy? Oh, yeah. Half the stadium will be split. Fellas are looking forward to this one. It'll be Noah Schlicks and Brody McGuff on the call. Chandler Dantzler back here. And that starts around 7:30 tonight. We'll take you till midnight with all our high school football coverage, including the Friday Night Zone Blitz. That's right here on the network, ActionSportsJax.com. You can also find coverage at ActionNewsJax.com. Our YouTube channel as well. Just look up Action Sports Jax. We've got high school covered on all the platforms starting tonight, right around 7:30. Most of us know how to throw.
but you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
For the game day hustle and every day in between, juggling my show Jag Social to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts. Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers! And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
Welcome inside the Armor Guard exterior and gutter helmet showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that, we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet is truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Yeah, so Europe's up 3-0 in the Ryder Cup. Hopefully, the United States, let's see where we're at here. Oh, great. Oh, no, one up through 14 for Cantlay and Schauffele. Hopefully to get on the board with a point. Embarrassing morning of golf for Team USA. Not going to make you talk golf, Austin, but I will ask you this because, like, my whole thought on this is, like, Bryson DeChambeau, all they cared about was what he did on the first tee. Is he going to drive the green or something? And he got off to a great start. He drove it well.
Okay.
They birdied the first hole. They go up. And then after that, it's a bloodbath. I mean, it's just Europe just kicking their butt. Like, they're better. Like, Europe has a better set of golfers. Like, if this was neutral and not in New York, they'd be the heavy favorites. So they won big over just about everybody with one more match to go in the morning round. But as you can tell, I've got a little hostility about this. So there are like two things in sports now in my world I think that I get really fired up about. The Yankees winning on a high level, like if they were to win the World Series or go to the World Series, like it does make like the
It's the blood boiling.
It really does. Like, I can't deny it. Like, it does. The Red Sox losing does not as much as the Yankees winning. Like, if they were to win the World Series this year. And the other one is this. I know like Europe's going to win the Ryder Cup. Like, I can't believe the United States was even favored. They're so much better. But like, I put myself through the misery of actually watching it and thinking they have a chance. Like, I don't know why, but I do. And I get mad at it. Quite frankly, I get mad at these guys because they played terrible this morning. So my thought is, like, does anything do that to you? Because you're pretty even keel when it comes to sports. I mean, other than losing a little bit of money on a wager or something or losing a pick, like, does anything, like, really get your blood boiling?
Of course, man. The Cubs, the Chicago Cubs, like, when they have success, I can't stand it. Like
get mad?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I talked about it on the show a couple weeks ago. Like, when the Brewers lost that series to the Cubs, and, then they only were up by like 5.5 games. You told me it wasn't a big deal, which probably in retrospect, it wasn't that big of a deal. I was still furious about it because, like, the Cubs then since then kind of, their bats came alive, and then they found a new sense of confidence and everything. So, yeah, I mean, I think when the Cubs are doing good, it drives me crazy. I mean, when the Tennessee Titans, have the Jaguars number like they've had, over those years, it drove me crazy a little bit.
Yeah, so and I knew you were big on the Cubs thing. I just didn't really know, like, if you're like throw something at the TV kind of moment or whatever else. And Killer Tofu, when was the last time we won? It was a couple years ago. A couple of Ryder Cups ago in the States. But we got whooped in Rome 2 years ago as well. So, Hamby, I don't have to ask. Go ahead.
I was gonna why? Okay, so what's the whole premise of, like, when they set the lines and everything in terms of why the U.S. was favored when, like you said, they're clearly not the better team? Because, like, is it really like the home course advantage? Like, are fans like talking and yelling in the backswings? Like, it's not like these European guys haven't played in the States a bunch, on the tours. So, like, I don't get, like, what the big deal is then. If, like, oh, well, they're playing in the U.S., so the U.S. should have it here.
Yeah, it's totally the home soil thing, man. Because otherwise, we have been saying, this is why I was talking to, because Ty watched a lot of golf. And every time we saw something Ryder Cup, we're like, oh my gosh, like their 12th guy, 11th guy would be our 4th or 5th best guy. With all due respect, I mean, these guys can play, but it's just in a cycle where they're better. Like, they're deeper, they're better, they got a little more, like, I don't know, maybe charisma is the word, a little edge kind of stuff. Like, and they're usually better anyway in this format than the United States in the last 15, 20 years. So I have no idea. I was stunned that the United States, even at home, was a favorite. Like, I really think Vegas is just playing off people's emotions, and obviously the U.S. bettors. But I couldn't believe it. I think I saw something where 8 out of the last 9 home teams have won. But that doesn't sound right to me because I don't feel like the United States has even won that much in this format in the last 20 years. But it does make a big difference, Austin, because like you're saying, first of all, the crowds are pretty loud. And again, a New York crowd is going to be a little outrageous, right? So, yeah, it does. It just depends where the momentum is. And that was the thing with DeChambeau. Like, I was watching DeChambeau through the front nine today. You would have thought you were at Southampton at the Dream 18. I mean, you didn't even know you were in New York at the Ryder Cup because they couldn't do anything to get the crowd going. So you've got to make putts, you've got to make shots, and then everybody gets amped up, and then there's a little bit of a snowball effect. And, the home – I was actually thinking about this too. The home field in sports, we've talked about this before. We don't think it's as big as it used to be, right? Wouldn't you say when you were growing up, Austen, or maybe in your earlier adult life, that home field, home court, home everything felt way bigger than it does now?
Yeah, but see, I think it depends on the sport, right? Like, I think in college football, it still means something. I still think it's as big as it's ever been. But, like, yeah, like the NFL, NBA, yeah, I do feel like it's not as big as it was.
Yeah, what was it, Hamby? Who was it a couple years ago? Remember when the Rangers won? They won like 9 games on the road or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't it something like that?
Yeah, that was, I guess, 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was impossible when we were growing up.
Yeah.
You just never saw that.
By the way, Shoffley and Cantley just dropped one, so it's tied.
Yeah, great. Hey, I don't even have to ask you this question, right? Like, does Georgia make your blood boil more than anything else? Do the Braves?
Yeah.
I know those are your two. UCF won't do that for you as much. It doesn't seem like knowing you a little bit. I don't even think the Jags do that as much for you.
Not as much.
But Georgia, is Georgia the...
Yeah.
Like Alabama, Georgia, but probably rub you the wrong way if it doesn't go well. Like, you're going to be pissed for 48 hours.
I'll be pissed for the rest of the night for sure. The Braves also, I mean, when they've lost in the playoffs, I specifically remember the Cardinals series my freshman year of college where Fultonevich pitched Game 5 and gave up like 7 runs in the first inning. Like, I literally, it took me like a week there. And, yeah, when Georgia lost to Ole Miss last year, I think that was the maddest I've been at them in a while. When the Jags lose, I'm pissed, but, it's more about expectation, and unfortunately, as a Jags fan my whole life, the expectation has been to lose, so you're more used to it.
Yeah.
It's just the fact of the matter.
Yeah. Hey, Austen, just to put a bow on this, 8 out of the last 11 Ryder Cups have been won by Europe, and all 3 times the United States won, it was on home soil. So I have no idea why the United States was favored in this. I really don't. I don't get it. But go ahead.
Yeah, maybe Vegas just trying to, feed up, like you said, feed up people's emotions. Hamby, I mean, I know it's an SEC thing where, even if your school doesn't win, but an SEC school wins a national championship, you're all celebrating and having like the victory parades because
Not for
you
me.
guys, you guys join hand in hand because, hey, it just means more, right? But Hamby, if you're going to say, if Georgia doesn't win a national championship and another school does in the SEC, which school would you loathe the most where it's like, man, I would hate to see them win a national championship?
Oh, it would definitely be Florida.
Florida?
Really?
Yeah, if Florida won it, I'd be beside myself at this point.
You couldn't take all the people, too. That's why a little
It's
bit.
that, yeah. I mean, Auburn is up there. Alabama, too, at this point, as I'm so sick of them. And Georgia, obviously, they beat them for a national championship. But for the most part, they've had our number. And in the last 10 years, it's really become more of a rivalry. But I would here's what I don't root for other SEC teams in the playoff, really. I'm not one of those guys. I understand it, and I have appreciation for it. I do think it helps the conference if they do well.
But also, it doesn't really matter anymore because, Big Ten. But,
right.
Keep
but
going.
Here's what I'll say. In baseball, I hate watching other teams win more than in football. I'm going to do again, I've been checked out for baseball a little bit. Like this next couple nights, I will be watching the Mets as much as possible, praying on their downfall.
Yeah.
I will be watching the Phillies in the playoffs, really hoping they lose, and the Yankees are in there for me. I hate the Yankees just as much as I hate the Mets and the Phillies, even though obviously there's no crossover there whatsoever. So I will be actively rooting against those teams, and that will be my reason to watch, and that will be more than enough for me to be locked in October.
Yeah. That's cool. I respect it. Hey, before we get you out of here, featherweight bout tomorrow. You're in the corner. Ramon Tavares against Jack Jenkins. He's from Australia. You got a lot of hometown fighters, and you experience this as well. That's a tricky thing. But how do you feel about tomorrow night?
Yeah, I mean,
Sunday
we feel
morning
great.
for
So,
you.
yeah, exactly right. We feel great. It was interesting because Ramon actually got to take part of the press conference. Well, it would have been, I guess, in the morning for you guys. It would have been in the evening, like the mid afternoon for us. So Ramon was at the press conference, and they only had 3 fighters from the main card on the press conference, right? So it was 3 fighters on one side, 3 fighters on the other side, and Ramon was lucky enough to get on that. I'm not gonna lie, man. It was definitely one of the most quiet and kind of somber press conferences that I've witnessed. Because I've watched them on YouTube and stuff too, but just being there in person, there might have been maybe 25% of the capacity at the press conference, which is kind of rare. Like for instance, when I fought in Sydney, it was sold out when we did a press conference. When I cornered Ramon in Tampa, I would probably say it was 3/4 full in terms of press conference. So there wasn't a lot of people there. And once again, I think there's something to be said just for this whole thing that you talk about with, the Aussie Rules football Super Bowl, whatever you want to call it, taking place. I think people are a little preoccupied with that right now. But in terms of the matchup, it's a great matchup because both guys like to strike. Both guys like to come forward, right? So anytime you have that, and keep in mind, both these fighters, whether it's Ramon or whether it's Jack, they're coming off losses from their last fight. And the fact that they got elevated to the main card, it goes to show you that this isn't necessarily in terms of record or anything, or in terms of being a household name quite yet. This is a stylistic matchup that the UFC really loves. So yeah, we're really excited for the fight. We have a great game plan. And obviously we're very confident that our fighter is going to win. And a little update too, which is crazy. So the first shuttle on the prelims leaves here to go to the arena. It's probably a 20-minute drive at 4:30 in the morning.
Jeez.
So you're going to have fighters on the prelims that are probably going to have to get up around 2 o'clock or 3 o'clock in the morning, get some type of food in their system, and then they'll have to, go over there and fight in front of the world, man. It's a crazy thing.
Yeah, that's tough. Now, fortunately for Ramon, he's on the main card, right? So
yeah, we don't have to report till 8:30. Yep. So Ramon will probably U.S. time, Eastern Standard Time. Check your local listings. Ramon will probably walk around 10:30 or 11 for his fight. But here we have to be on the shuttle by 8:30. So he's probably going to get up around 7-ish, maybe 6:30, get some breakfast and everything. We'll get we call it a shakeout where we'll break a little sweat. We'll rest, and then we'll get on the shuttle at 8:30.
So hey, are you actually in the corner? Are you? What are the rules there? So you'll be in the corner helping out in between rounds.
Yeah. So as far as because Ramon's a little different. So Ramon's gonna have our coach, Seth Dupuis, will be he'll be the guy that's coaching him through the cage and everything. And then it's gonna be me and then his wife Allie. And he always and Allie's so cool because listen, every fighter is different, right? And especially when you're cutting weight, it can be a little stressful and everything, right? You're hungry, you're still on that, you're probably on that Jacksonville time trying to adjust and everything. So we each have our own jobs, right? Seth's job obviously is to coach, is to come up with the game plan. Allie's job is to really maybe, just make sure that he's doing good and he's confident and just kind of be that support system. And then my job, man, basically is just I kind of reiterate of my opinions of what I see going on in the fight, maybe calling some audibles and everything, and then relaying that towards Seth, the head coach. But then also my job is going to be just making sure the pre-fight warm-up and everything, that his mentality is where it needs to be. Because once again, every fighter warms up differently. Some fighters you kind of got to hype up a little bit. Some fighters you kind of got to calm down a little bit, right? Because in this game, it's so mental. People think it's 2 guys going to war in a cage, which it is. But there's so much more in terms of mentality that goes into it. So my job is just to make sure that I get the best out of him mentally and that he's prepared to make that walk.
Okay, good deal. And just real quick, where is he in the ladder? Is UFC? I mean, is he if he wins this fight, is he on his on a good trajectory here? Ramon?
Yeah.
That is?
So yeah, for sure. So this is going to be, so he actually moved up the weight class, right? So he's moved up a weight class. So this will be his debut at said weight class, which will be 145. He has 2 more fights on his contract, even though that doesn't really matter. You know, the UFC has no problem cutting guys whenever they feel like it, right? So with Ramon, where if he has a big victory, because I think, you know, when he does get the win, it's going to be because of damage, and it's probably because of a TKO or a KO. So the UFC loves KOs. They love fighters that want to step forward. They're not really big fans of wrestlers, right? And Ramon, like, even though he's got great wrestling, that's not going to be at the forefront. And, you know, I know that, like, UFC fans know that, his opponent knows that. Like, he's going to try to keep it standing. So if he can get the result, yeah, I think he's going to shoot straight up to at 145 and you know, hopefully be a household name one day. But it's also been pretty cool, Brent, because, you know, with me and my journey, I'm trying to maneuver to see if I can weigh in 205. Well, there's a bunch of 205ers on this fight card. So it's been kind of fun, just kind of, you know, going around and talking to them. And like when we're in the gym together, you know, and we're just hitting the mitts, like kind of standing next to them and just kind of getting a size, feel and everything. So that's been very, you know, productive for me as well.
All right. I think we got to get you out of here, but do you, lastly, you have a future in the cornering? You think, like, will you do this like for years and years to come type thing, or what?
Yeah. As far as cornering, like I'm going to corner the fighters that want me to corner them, right? And there's a couple guys. I mean, there's more amateurs right now than pros in the UFC, just because everyone's kind of got their own little clique, their own little group, and everything. You know, I have no problem cornering Ramon, just because we kind of came up together. We really started training at the same time. We both won our amateur belts in the Florida region at the same time on the same fight card and everything. So we've really been kind of going through this journey together. So he's always in my corner. I'm always in his corner. But as far as being like a full-time coach or a cornerman, Brent, it's kind of how I feel about with, you know, football as well. I've been asked to coach football and, you know, be an assistant and things like that and try to, you know, come up through the ranks. I just know how much time, effort, and energy that would take. And I can sit here and say right now, like, I don't want to dedicate that much time, effort, and energy, just because, you know me, man, I don't like to lose at all, right? Whether we're doing the judge game with Casey or we're talking about fighting or football, like, I just don't like to lose. So I know, like, that part of me would try to just push. And I got a 10-year-old who needs a lot of attention, man, that I want to give attention to and everything, and find that balance. So I just think, like, right now where I'm at in my life, I'll corner the guys that I know, but like going forward, no, I probably wouldn't be a coach at this juncture of my life. Now, who's to say maybe you fire me one day again, right? And then you give me that Shady Rays discount, and then, you know, maybe the Jaguars stuff doesn't go good. Then maybe I'll get into coaching. But right now, man, I'm just having a blast of what I'm doing and the life that I'm living.
Yeah, we're focused on getting Ronan NIL right now. It's basically the moral of the story. All right, man.
Yeah, Brent, if we can start his, like, you know, Twitter account and everything, you can give me some advice on that. That'd be great. Start his own, you know, YouTube channel, and yeah, we'll start pumping some of that revenue pretty soon.
The other thing is, good thing you're losing some weight, because this kangaroo is going to get that smile off his face sooner or later. All right. Have a good weekend.
Yeah,
good luck with the fight.
Yep.
And get a win.
Appreciate
We'll talk
you.
to you later. And enjoy Australia, man.
We'll do, man. We'll see you guys back in the States.
All right. And by the way, Casey will come in and help out with the picks for Austin and him. And that's coming up in
They
the
got
noon hour.
some making up to do.
Yeah, they do. Plus, we have our weekend wagers coming up, too. And a lot more to get to here in the last 90 minutes of a Friday show as we head into a big weekend of high school football. Nice slate on the college level. And then also a trip to San Francisco awaits us as well. Hey, Armor Guard Exterior, don't forget to visit those folks at St. John's Bluff Road. GutterHelmet at NorthFlorida.com is an easy place to go to, or you can call them 904-762-7779 just to get a free estimate. Gutters, awnings, screens, windows, and doors, storm protection too. Right now, you can get 25% off Armor Guard Exterior products when you tell them Action Sports Jax sent you. So make sure you take advantage of that. Normally 15%, get an extra 10% off. That go a long way. Make sure you visit Armor Guard Exteriors. GutterHelmet of NorthFlorida.com.
Choose your own adventure. It's not just a saying, but a way of life here at Cycles of Jacksonville. And whether it's 2 wheels or 4 wheels, at Cycles of Jacksonville, a great adventure awaits. With brands like Honda, Vespa, Segway, and Triumph, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with the inventory featuring a 60,000 square foot building. If 4 wheels is more your thing, check out the largest selection of Honda Talons in the entire county. No matter what you're looking for, Cycles of Jacksonville is going to have the selection you need, all with great financing and rebates. Plus, if you're active duty military, Cycles of Jacksonville will offer you 0% financing along with great discounts for military and first responders. And when you want to get off the road and set sail, Cycles of Jacksonville has you covered with everything you need to get on the water. So if you're ready for a great adventure, let Cycles of Jacksonville be your guide. Located off Atlantic Boulevard, or check out their website at cyclesofjacksonville.com.
How do we make Mason's famous lobster rolls? It's simple. We get up before dawn, head into the open waters of Maine, haul in our traps by hand, and send only the best straight to our restaurants, where we add warm butter or chilled mayo with a squeeze of lemon and pile it on a toasted split-top roll, just like it's been done for nearly a century. That's the recipe for Mason's famous lobster rolls.
Thanks for meeting me here.
Okay.
You're my only lawyer friend, and I need your professional opinion.
Okay.
You see that brand new Hyundai Tucson out there?
Yeah.
That's all I paid for it. Do you know what you want?
Yeah. I think I do.
Enjoy your new car.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Deal so right, it almost feels wrong. The Hyundai Getaway Sales Event.
Lease a Hyundai Tucson for $259 a month, or get 2.99% APR, or get $1,750 bonus cash. Hurry in.
Year 2 is in the books for the Jacksonville Armada women's under-23 squad, taking another step forward in the Women's Premier Soccer League. Under the guidance of head coach David Goff, the girls in blue went undefeated at home for a second straight season, including a dramatic draw in the opener.
And they've left it to the death. Unbelievable stuff.
And a late winner to end the season at home.
Headed on. Here's a chance. Gianna Ramirez brings it down, still alive, takes a shot, and into the back of the net.
After fielding a younger roster in 2025 with talent from all across Northeast Florida, the future is bright for the Armada women's team. We highlight the ladies and all things Jacksonville Armada each week on Fleet and Footy on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
I'll put one in the back of the net for you.
Join us for player profiles, fun interviews, and the very latest on the Fleet and all things footy. That's every Thursday at 2 p.m.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant, or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet.
Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table.
Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjacks.com.
Putting your needs first. It's the backbone of how First Florida Credit Union does business. In all honesty, you might as well be speaking another language when it comes to finances. Sure, I'm good with my money, but what am I missing in the fine print? That's what led me to First Florida Credit Union. They're the perfect choice for anyone starting their financial journey because they keep finances easy. Plus, they offer financial education and resources I can trust. So I'm always growing more confident. And as a young adult, I am constantly adding more responsibilities to my plate. From a car payment to a mortgage, it all adds up. Luckily, First Florida Credit Union makes sure it adds up in all the right places and not the wrong ones by offering better rates and lower fees than traditional banks, even if you're still trying to grow your credit. Because as a member-owned institution, First Florida genuinely puts people's needs first rather than focusing on profit. So I know as my needs change, they'll be right there to help me reach my goals. Check out firstflorida.org to learn how you can benefit too.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Hi, this is from Daniel Griffiths as you look at the matchup with the San Francisco 49ers, and you can find Daniel on actionsportsjax.com. Does a great job deep diving into some of the numbers and things that we're not bright enough to talk about all the time, or at least find out. Then we talk about it for a little bit here on the show. So here's your matchups. The Jags linebackers, who have played very well against Christian McCaffrey, and he's more dangerous in the receiving game. I think it's wild to me how little people are talking about Christian McCaffrey. I don't want to say he's their only weapon, but he's obviously their most dangerous weapon. And you feel like if you can contain him, especially since the quarterbacks are a bit banged up, feels like Brock Purdy's going to play. If you listen to his news conference, it kind of trended toward him playing. But McCaffrey's the deal here, right? Yeah. I mean, to me, it's two things. It's really like Trent Williams and how much can Josh, wreak havoc against a future Hall of Famer, and Christian McCaffrey, a future Hall of Famer. How much can you contain him, and where is he at in everything, where some have suggested he's still a little banged up. Niners have not, but he hasn't certainly lit the world on fire here in the early stages of 2025, yet they're 3-0. So you figure they're going to get him going soon. This is the kind of player that has really hurt the Jaguars in past years. Well, he's hurt a lot of teams. But the bottom line is he's tough because of the open field stuff. If you get the ball in the open field versus a linebacker, it's a tough tackle. This team has been very good at tackling so far, from Jordan Lewis to Devin Lloyd to obviously Foye Oluokun is one of the best tacklers of the last 7 or 8 years. This is the matchup to me, man, at least from an offense-defense, their offense versus the Jags defense point of view.
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal all week, and I think it would be kind of obvious, is you really want to make the 49ers as one-dimensional as possible. And I think that's very obviously easier said than done. I mean, I'm sure every team has tried to make the 49ers one-dimensional, to try and take away Christian McCaffrey and make Purdy beat you with his arm to Jawan Jennings and Pearsall, and even going back to years past. I mean, I'm sure the game plan has probably been the same across the board. Even when it was Ayuk and Kittle was in there, and even Debo, you still probably would have rather last year Purdy beat you with his arm, throwing it to those guys, than McCaffrey beat you on the ground. Because that's what the 49ers want to do. They want to keep the ball on the ground. They want to give it to him 20, 25 times when he's healthy. It has never been easier to make the 49ers more one-dimensional than it is right now. With Jawan Jennings and Pearsall, their only weapons, both those guys are questionable. I'm sure they'll go. Whether are they limited in any capacity? Obviously, Kittle's out. You've got to, try to put, more guys in the box. Make sure, I'm interested to see exactly how they try to line up against Christian McCaffrey. Whether that's like a Dewey on him when they choose to go man, or that's still like a combination of the linebackers. And then my other thing is, Trent Williams, very good. But what about the other side? This is why it was so important for you to have two good edge guys. Their right tackle, Colton McKivitz. I'm not going to claim I really know anything about him. I will tell you I've never heard of him before. Okay? He's obviously not as good as Trent Williams. So whoever's opposite him, you've really got to have a big game. Not to say that I think Trent Williams is just going to stuff Josh Hines-Allen on the edge, but it's definitely the best left tackle that the Jags have seen so far this year. So whoever's on the other side, and I'm sure they'll mix and match. It's not like Josh will stay on the right side against Trent every single passing down, but whoever's on that other side's got to have a big game.
Yeah, I think you're right. I'm interested to see the matchup. Josh had like this look in his eyes this week in the locker room where this felt like a game that if he could have a game against Trent Williams, people around the league would notice. And I think Josh feels like people around the league don't talk about him and aren't noticing him, even though he's been very consistent for years now, but they just don't give him the amount of credit, respect. Now, coaches and players do, I think, when you're matching up against them. But I think outside, there's not everybody talking about Josh Hines-Allen. Now, he's got a half a sack on the year, and that's probably part of it, but we know he's been way bigger than that, way better than that. This will be a very interesting game. Now, listen, Trevor Williams is really good. We think Josh is really good. What does that look like? Can he get his? He's not going to win every matchup there, but can he get his in that critical times? So I think this is, if there's a fun matchup to watch, keep an eye on that, because I feel like Josh is really motivated. Now, there's something that few people are talking about, if anybody, in this football game that has my attention that I don't think is a good thing for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I don't know if we know how to actually compute it, but I do think it's a factor. And that is this physical nature that they've played with through the first 3 games, and specifically how physical that game was against Houston on Sunday here in Jacksonville. And you're getting ready to play a very physical team. This is the way San Francisco plays in their home place after flying out. So I'm not building up an excuse here. I'm just telling you the Jags at this stage of the season, 4 games in, and I think even Liam Cohen alluded to it, they're trying to take care of their bodies. They're banged up a bit coming off that Houston game, and even Cincinnati, they said, was a pretty physical game. You look at Houston last week, I think that's one thing people, again, don't notice. The Tampa-Houston game on Monday Night Football was a very physical game. You could watch that and see that. Well, then the Jags, who not over the years have always brought the physicality the way they're bringing it right now, played that level of physicality against Houston, and I think that probably was a little bit of a domino effect on them too at some points in that game. Now, there are other reasons for Houston losing the game. I'm just saying I think it adds up. It builds up. And Houston was on a short week. Well, the Jags come off that emotional win, physical win, and now they go out to play San Francisco. They've got to travel, all those things. It does catch up with you from time to time. Even if it's very subtle, it does catch up with you. And I'll give you one other thing about this. At least they've got an extra day to recover. But Kansas City doesn't get the credit for how physical they play. They play a physical brand as well. I think that defense has really played physical over the last few years and just doesn't get the love for it. So the Jags are in a stretch right now where you're playing Houston, San Francisco, Kansas City, where I think of these are lunch pail kind of games. And we just don't talk about the Jags that way very often. We don't really talk about the AFC South all the time like that. Maybe the Titans we've talked about more than even the Houston Texans. But I just think the way this schedule is lined up, the way the Jags are playing football right now, creates soreness, not feeling your best, all those things. And where does that catch up with you? Does it catch up with you in London against the Rams in a few weeks? Does that catch up with you on a Monday night against Kansas City? Does that catch up with you in San Francisco this week? And how much does it catch up with you? Is it a little factor? Or is it a big factor? It's just part of the grind of the season. Now, I've questioned this in the past where we thought it would catch up with the Jags. And quite frankly, the Jags proved us wrong. If you go back to 2022, Jaguars start 1-2, and then they win 5 times in the month of October. And they did it at 5 different venues, 2 different continents. And they were able to do it. And they did it even on a short week on the last part of that run against the Saints. If you remember, on a Thursday night, I was like, there's no way they're winning this game because they are beat up. They just traveled all over the place. And you're going to go Thursday night on the road, which I think is a massive disadvantage in the NFL. I think it's the biggest advantage anybody has, home on a Thursday night. And the Jags won that game against the Saints. So I'm not telling you it can't be done. I just think people don't give it a lot of credit. And partly because we don't see it. It's not a statistic. We don't know how everybody feels. But I can sometimes look at a game, go in that locker room, and see how beat up guys are, like right after the game. Now, I don't see him the rest of the week like that. But I even thought, like, Trevor Lawrence came out of that game, he was pretty beat up. Like, that was a physical game even for the quarterback. And when the quarterback plays in a physical game, you know, because he took some hits in that game. He didn't get sacked all the time, but then the running play, right? Some of these plays come to mind where You know what? You know when you can see the guy after and he's still got like the helmet, red of the helmet. Like the quarterback doesn't always have that unless you're Peyton Manning, but he doesn't always have that.
He's got a lot of real estate up there.
Trevor, you can always tell when he's played like a physical game, and if the quarterback feels that way, that means everybody else felt that way too. Mm-hmm. So not an excuse. It's just a curiosity of mine. Like, does that catch up? Can they answer the bell each and every week from this physical standpoint? They've done a hell of a job of that so far. They've been really good at it, and I've been impressed. But can you continue to do it? And I don't think San Fran gets enough credit for how physical they are because we don't watch them all the time, but that's what they're built on. Mm-hmm. They're built on these trenches. Now, they're banged up with Bosa and stuff, but again, that Trent Williams part, this offensive line, all those things, it's you're going to bring it. And does that travel with you at this point of the season? This is how I think like you get duds in the NFL. When you don't feel great, you're also traveling. Mm-hmm. You're playing a pretty good team. Like that's where you get like this, oof, what just happened there type of game. And I'm not suggesting this is going to be the case because I think there are a lot of things in the Jags' favor in this game that you could play as well. But I'm just curious a little bit about how that part's going to match up because you're going to have to match up to their physicality. And the Jags are going to have to do that every week because you want people to say, you've got to match our physicality, mm-hmm. right? And I think that's what they're breeding here. We just got to see if they're going to bring it every single week. So far, they're 3 for 3. I've said this. I think the Jags have been the most physical team the first 3 weeks. Even Cincinnati, the game they lost, they were the more physical football team. The way they ran the ball, stopped the run, those kind of things.
Yeah, I want to show this, too. This is another Griffiths article. You guys really putting in the work. This is the creativity that the Jags have shown. So the Jaguars' defensive line is first in coverage. We've seen that. We've seen Josh Hines-Allen kind of drop in when 7 guys are walked up. Who's coming, who's not, right? Josh Hines-Allen has dropped, and it's, I think the low-hanging fruit is if Josh Hines-Allen drops in coverage, and the Jags don't get to the quarterback, why is Josh Hines-Allen dropping in coverage? Well, look, it's 10%, which is first in the National Football League.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Right? But it is 10%. This is not dropping every single time. 90% of the time, both the guys on the edge are coming. Second in non-defensive line pressures, whether that's Dewey coming, whether that's Jordan Lewis coming.
Devin Lloyd.
Devin Lloyd's coming. Even Foye is faking like dropping back and then coming late, right? 7th in heavy blitz, obviously pressure 5, blitz 6. So they're still bringing 6 a lot of the time. And then 9th in stunt percentage when guys are mixing and matching across the line of scrimmage. And then Hines, Allen, and Walker, specifically that duo, that tandem, they're second in pressures among any duo. And here's the interesting one here is where you really want to see some other guys step up now that we're 3 weeks into the season. They are the only edge pair in the National Football League that account for more than 50% of the team's pressures. So, to break that down, if Hines Allen and Trayvon aren't getting there, well, the Jags haven't got there so far. Mm-hmm. Armstead's been in there a little bit. Lloyd's been in there a little bit. Jordan Lewis off a nickel blitz, stuff like that. You need to see some. We need to see some Ogbo. We need to see some Smoo. We need to see some Armstead. Mason Smith needs to get in there. Just pressure. We're not saying the guy's got to get him down, but you want to? Can we hit the quarterback? Both these guys are banged up. Not rooting for them to be hurt or anything, but they're going to be hobbled. They're going to be kind of stuck in the pocket a little bit more. That's something you got to be taking advantage. Purdy's not going to be tucking the football and looking to escape and run everywhere. If he's closed in, can you take advantage and put the guy on the ground?
Yeah, I think those are good points. That was a good graphic, by the way, because I think it shows what Ripley's kind of saying. It's called the change-up. It's you really don't know what to expect. I think those percentages were kind of all over the place. And you're right, though. The defensive, if you're dropping your edge guys, everybody's going to complain about it if it's not working.
Right.
That's what everybody notices. Why is he out there? Everybody does it. Everybody does it, right? It's just, how much do you do it? Okay, Jags are doing it at a higher clip, but that's because they're bringing some other things. They're mixing it up. They are mixing it up. That's the point. To me, they're of an unpredictable defense right now. What they're showing up at the line of scrimmage, some of the things that they're doing, and I really think they're on point. A lot of talk about communication. I think they're on point. The play that comes to mind is the other day, I think it was Devin Lloyd had to go cover someone in the flat because they were blitzing the corner, and boom, right there for the tackle. Man, that just feels like a hot read, easy 8-yard pickup for most teams against the Jags. I feel like they're right on point right now with that communication, what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They're playing fast, all those things. Rip says Smoot has caused pressure. I actually believe Smoot and Armstead and others have played well. But the reality of it is, I don't think what that stat was at 50% is a knock against everybody else. I think they've played pretty good football, the other guys. I think it's dominant football by Trayvon Walker and Josh Hines-Allen. I think they've played that good at the outset of the season. So you know there's a drop-off. And specifically this week, if that is a neutral battle between two really good football players, Trent Williams and Josh Hines-Allen, then where's the stuff coming from? Are you bringing it, or are those interior guys going to wreak some havoc? You know, we're going to see a little Mason Smith. What are they doing with Colin Saunders, Mason Smith? That little juggling match. Do they feel like are they run heavy, or they need to pass rush from that inside? Because Mason will go in the pass rush. If they feel like it's going to be a lot more run, they'll probably bring Saunders up for that kind of game. So we'll see. A little bit of a chess match there. But I do think the variation is fun to see. Kind of goes back to that attacking style. Got a little tired around here of just, okay, well, we're going to do what we do and hope we get here with 4 and blah, 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 blah. But I think all this right now looks like it's working well on the Jags' defensive side of things, and it certainly has. They've only allowed 51 points, which is top 8 in the National Football League, and obviously the turnovers have been fantastic. One other note about this football game, and just reading some of the news clippings, if you will, really the transcripts from San Francisco. I do find it interesting. We talk a lot about Saleh today in the early part of the show, really the first hour of the show, and that whole deal. If you missed any of it, you can always check it out on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 Brent Austen Show podcast. Just look it up where you get your podcast, and you can listen in your car. It'll be up there at 1:30 every afternoon, and hour by hour, find the spots you'd like to listen to on our podcast. So make sure you download it, subscribe to it, and listen if you can't join us live. But everybody's being asked about Travis Hunter. Right? Like, hey, what do you think about Travis Hunter? What do you think about him playing all these snaps? And a lot of pretty cool things are being said about him. I mean, nothing out of the ordinary, but it's interesting to hear people ask about another player on the Jags that isn't the quarterback. Because if you think about other transcripts and other, like, away media, and when the Jags are coming to town, I mean, how often are they asking about a certain player? And the Jags actually have people asking about Trevor, because you're always going to ask about the quarterback, asking about Brian Thomas Jr., even though things have been slow for him, and asking about Travis Hunter. And I think they've actually started to ask a lot about Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker, too. So they've got guys that they're really like, hey, we got a game plan around these guys. There's a lot of focus. They're getting attention even in other markets. That's not always the case. That's my point. But the Travis Hunter stuff is pretty good from Saleh alone. I think he had the one that caught my attention. So let me find it real quick.
Was this the same press conference about with the?
It's the same one, yeah. Yeah, I think. Let me make sure I got the. Yeah, I said he's uber talented. And from everything we gathered during the draft process, this is the part I like because they're all looking at these players coming out. And so, how did they see him? He said he's an elite human in terms of work ethic and energy that he brings to the building. And you guys see how I speak to Michael. He's talking about your guy from Georgia. I'm nervous about him playing outside and inside the D-line, let alone two sides of the ball. It's challenging, but I think if anyone's up to that task, it would be a guy like him. So a lot of nice thoughts and comments about him. Kubiak was also asked about him, and let me just read one more for you. He's a really good athlete. He's confident. He's got length. He looks the part to me. It's impressive. He's playing both ways and out there competing on both sides of the ball. He's a really good player. That's why they drafted him where they did. And so he's a guy you've got to be aware of. Pretty complimentary just the way most people are. So anyway, I just thought it was interesting they're asking about Travis Hunter. There are eyes on Travis Hunter in terms of how they're using him. We have eyes on him here on how they're using him. Can they use him more? Today, Liam Cohen said the usage will go up as we continue to go, and maybe we get more of that this week. We think he's going to be involved. We've had that all week. We think he's going to be more involved in space, see what he can do with a football in his hands, get him an explosive play,
That'll give that offense some juice. He can bring some of that. And right now, an offense that's kind of asking themselves questions about whether they're going to catch the ball, line up correctly, I think they could use a little bit of juice outside of the running game. And I think it starts potentially with Travis Hunter. We'll see if they can get that this week. Hey, when we come back, scheduled to talk to Tony Khan, Shad's son, Tony Khan, coming up next. A little AEW coming to town in early October, so we'll get to that. And always kind enough to talk a little football as well. A lot going on in Tony Khan's world, and we'll talk to him in the noon hour. And we also have weekend wagers and our picks still ahead as we take you until 1 o'clock on the Brent Austen Show on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network. When it's time to get a new car for anyone in your family, just remember, nobody but Nimnick, the #1 Buick GMC dealer in Jacksonville. Get the latest price breaks on 2023 and 2024 models or the newest 2025 vehicles in the showroom on Phillips Highway, or shop online at nimnickbuickgmc.com 24 hours a day. GMC Sierras, Yukons, and the redesigned Acadias, or get the all-new redesigned line with Buicks. It's nobody but Nimnick, and part of the reason why is this is a first-class buying experience here at Nimnick Buick GMC. You're not just a customer, you're a friend. This is about getting a vehicle that best fits you and getting you on the road, and also helping you and your family down the road. Nimnick has a treating you right guarantee, courtesy, respect, fairness. The most Buicks, GMCs, and Jacksonville's only Car Bravo dealer, nobody but Nimnick. Who has put in the most years and stands behind a better experience? Nobody but Nimnick. GMC. We are professional grade.
If you look good, you feel good. And the medical professionals here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics are here to make you feel your best. I'm on camera every week, and I have a confession to make. I'm not always confident in my appearance. Can you see my dark circles? Is my makeup highlighting my fine lines instead of covering them up? I question it all. So when I found out about the wide variety of procedures here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics, I knew help was just one appointment away. Medical Director Dr. Megan Deacon-Casey and her board-certified physicians have been using the latest in cutting-edge technology for the last 10 years, giving men and women their personal confidence boost. From Botox, fillers, Morpheus 8, and so much more. The hardest part was figuring out what I needed. Thankfully, the medical team walked me through what would work best for me through a free consultation. Come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Baker's Sports. It's a hometown business filled with hometown people trying to make you feel right at home.
Chris Conley, Jacksonville University.
Walker Wright, class of 2018, West Nassau High School.
Michael Young, Fletcher High School.
Baker's Sports started in a grassroots way and now outfits much of the Southeast.
Tony Mazzio, Stanwood High School, class of 2002.
High school sports, travel sports, youth sports of all kinds. They are a one-stop shop carrying Nike, Adidas, Under Armour brands, and more.
Vincent Caldes, Oak Leaf High School.
Samuel Coffrin, Paxton School for Advanced Studies.
Whether it's sports teams on the field or it's your team in the workplace, like our Action Sports Jacks team, and community events like the Dream 18 Golf Tournament, and many others.
Cole Tilley, Hilliard High School.
Reagan Webb, Eagles View Academy.
Look good, feel good, play good with Baker Sports. Custom sports apparel since 1997. Shop with the hometown team at bakersport.com.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jacks PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
It's been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jackspal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jacks PAL.
Most of us know how to throw. but you need to know what to throw. I'm not talking about footballs, baseballs, softballs. We're talking about those items you need to recycle. Republic Services explains it easy. Recycling simplified. 1. Know what to throw. When in doubt, throw it out. 2. Empty, clean, and dry those materials. It takes an extra minute, but it makes a big difference. And 3. Don't bag it. This makes the recycling process faster and more efficient. This is a look at the Republic Services North Florida Recycling Center. You can make this process even more efficient. By utilizing those 3 steps, Republic Services can help you become a better recycler in your home. Learn more at recyclingsimplified.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
All right, so we're headed to San Francisco tomorrow. Hopefully pick up a win. Go to 3-1, and then come back home next Monday night at the bank. Prowler jerseys once again. Take on the Kansas City Chiefs. That one, of course, at 8:15, and still getting hyped up for that one. Hopefully at 3-1. This place will be electric next week. That'll be a lot of fun, right? Get another win. But either way, that game is going to be a big game. And the Chiefs struggling right now. They got the Ravens this weekend. They could be 1-3 going into that game. And then you start to think about down the road, could a tiebreaker come into play? So make sure you get your tickets, 633-2000, 904-633-2000. Check out Jaguars.com as well. For the Monday Nighter, hopefully it'll be electric there. And part of a big week next week for Tony Khan, because he's got the Jags on Monday night. And then AEW's homecoming shows in Jacksonville. That'll be AEW Dynamite on Tuesday, also airing on TBS and HBO Max. AEW Collision on Wednesday, airing on TNT and HBO Max. And both are at Daly's Place. And we always know when we talk to Tony Khan, he loves coming back to Daly's Place. It's going to be a wild week to start off October for you, Tony. Do we have Tony?
Vito.
That's sounded like he was walking. Might have to get. Hopefully we'll get Tony Khan in just a moment, but it will be a busy week. That is for sure. Just give me a heads up, Hamby, when you think we've got the connection. Sound like we had somebody there, but he might have been distracted by somebody else in the background at the moment. So we'll hopefully have Tony Khan on just a couple of moments. Talk a little bit about AEW coming up with Dynamite in Collision, and then also with the Jags Monday night game. He says he's on there, Hamby. So we want to try it again? Go for it. Can you hear us, Tony?
Yeah, can you hear me, Brent?
There you go. We got you, man. I appreciate you checking in with us. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic, Brent. Thanks for having me. I'm really excited about this. You know, it's a huge week. Like you said, the Monday Night Football game, it should be an electric crowd. And what a way to spend a week with Monday Night Football versus the Chiefs, and then 2 nights of AEW at Daly's Place. We started All Elite Wrestling out of Jacksonville. Most of the shows we've ever done have still been here in Jacksonville, and it's going to be a great week for the company. You did the great plug for me, Brent, saying that that show Tuesdays live on TBS and HBO Max, and then the Wednesday show is also going to be on TNT and HBO Max. So it's going to be a really exciting week, and I'm really glad you're having me on to talk about it.
Well, we appreciate you being here. I like to ask you this, because you're doing so many different things, from Fulham to the Jags to AEW Wrestling, and been doing this for a bit now. How much fun are you still having with AEW and the creative behind it? And obviously growing, expanding from TBS to TNT, HBO Max, all the other things. Is it still, I know it's a lot of work, but how energizing and fun is it for you right now?
It's a lot of fun. I love it. I love wrestling, and that's why I got into this. I also love football very, very much, and I'm really glad the Jags are having a great start to the season and definitely having a lot more fun with football this year. But wrestling, I always have fun with. It's a good time. It's a great way to spend time as a family, to go out to the shows. I love traveling the country. I've gotten to really not just America. I've gotten to travel all over for AEW. We've done wrestling shows with AEW in Mexico, Canada, all over the U.S. I've gotten to travel to the UK for AEW. We've done Wembley Stadium. We sold over 81,000 tickets at Wembley Stadium for AEW All In, which is kind of an amazing feat. It's pretty similar to what we would do for our Jags games at Wembley. And having been at Wembley for Fulham and AEW and the Jaguars, I can say that I think we're the only people ever to put over 80,000 in Wembley for 3 different sports. Uh, and I really, really do love what we've been able to do. And now the show is on in over 150 countries all over the world. And we've been on TBS and TNT for the very beginning. And now, like you said, the shows stream on HBO Max. And it's kind of amazing, Brent. You know, we'll be celebrating the 6-year anniversary of Wednesday Night Dynamite next week. So we've actually got 4 shows in Florida and this Monday Night Football game, most of all, across 8 days. From this coming Wednesday to the following Wednesday, we've got a show in Hollywood, Florida, that's the 6-year anniversary of AEW Dynamite. We've got Lakeland, Florida, the following day. Then we come back to Jacksonville for the Monday night game and 2 nights of AEW. So a proper wrestling tour, all elite wrestling from Florida. And I think that's going to be fantastic. And I can't imagine a better place to be for our homecoming than the place where AEW has done so many great shows, and that's Daly's place.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. AEWTix.com and Ticketmaster, the place to get it for next Tuesday and Wednesday with the AEW homecoming shows in Jacksonville with AEW Dynamite and AEW Collision. It looks like you just created a women's tag team title. Why is that, and how is your women's division right now to kind of open the door and opportunity for that?
What a great question, Brent. When we started AEW, we had some great women on the roster, but I am very positive that over the years, the quality and the volume of great women's wrestlers in AEW has gone up and up and up. And the quality of the women's wrestling in AEW is by far the highest it's ever been. That's through the hard work from the women that have been here for years, including the new women's world champion, Chris Statlander, somebody who has been in AEW since the very first shows and somebody who has been fighting, trying to get that position for years. She had not had a title shot at the world title in a long time, and she won the world title at AEW All Out in Toronto, which was incredible. She's a great example of the hardworking women who are just doing fantastic in AEW, but also we've had a lot of big free agents come into the company over the years. And a combination of our own homegrown stars and the big name stars that we brought in, I think we built the best group of women's wrestlers on the planet. And now we've got the women's world title, we've got the TBS title, and now we have a women's tag team championship for the great wrestlers in that women's division who I think are having a great year in 2025.
Tony Khan joining us right now on the Brent Austen Show, Action Sports Jax 24/7 Network with AEW, coming back home on Tuesday and Wednesday of next week, right after the Monday Nighter. So a busy week in Jacksonville and right down there at the Sports Complex. So it'll be a fun week. Make sure you get your tickets, AEWTix.com and Ticketmaster. Hey, just from the periphery here, we know we have so many diehard wrestling fans, right? And obviously you engage with those all the time on the road, all across the world. How many new wrestling fans do you find that you're getting? Kids, maybe even adults? And how much does the show, even like here in Jacksonville at Daly's Place, kind of invite some of those new fans in? Do you see it? Is it hard to tell? Or is there just such a big base that you guys have wrestling fans that are so plentiful, it's almost hard to tell?
What a great question that is, Brent. So before the show, I usually go out and ask the fans and take a survey, just like what you're talking about. And I ask, how many of you have been to AEW before? And usually it's about anywhere from 2/3 to 80% of the fans. And then I ask, who's here for the first time ever tonight? And again, commensurate to that, you know, it might be anywhere from 20% to about 1/3. And we were in Pittsburgh the other night, and I asked this question, and there were a couple of young fans in the very front row, including one young fan who was having a birthday. His name was Tony, too. I hope Tony had a great birthday. And I believe he was turning 5 years old, and he was saying it was his very first wrestling show.
Cool.
And we get a lot of kids who are coming for the first time. We get a lot of adults that have been many, many times before. And it's a really, really fun thing whenever we get a new fan and we get to maybe bring a young kid into the ring or sign autographs for them or even get the fans in the arena to chant their name. They never expected that when they were coming to the show. So we always do like to take care of the first time young fans, especially the kids, because the wrestlers love signing autographs and taking pictures for the kids. I think most of the wrestlers were big fans when they were kids. So that's why they like looking after the kids, signing autographs and doing things for the young fans, because most of the AEW wrestlers were big wrestling fans as kids, and that's what they wanted, was to meet the stars and meet the big wrestlers when they were growing up.
Yeah, and the athleticism now is, something, if you're a kid, you're like, wow, right? But I even think if you're an adult, you're like, wow, I don't remember seeing that back in the day, which is really cool. Right. Like, I think that's a fun part of it, even for me, when I catch clips. You guys are all over social media, and you see that, and you're like, man, it's just amazing, the athlete today in the ring.
It is so true. And they fight so hard. They take so much punishment, and they're willing to take that punishment. They go into the matches knowing they're going to get beat up. They're going to do crazy things. There'll be ladders or tables or thumbtacks or barbed wire or all of the above. Sometimes just a hard-hitting fight and great athleticism. We've got, as you said, great athletes, some of the best high flyers. We've been working a lot with the top Lucha Libre promotions, CMLL. They've been operating for over 92 years in Mexico, which is pretty amazing. And they've got the top stars in Mexico. Those are some of the greatest athletes I've ever seen. And they appear on AEW very often, most weeks. And those Lucha Libre wrestlers from Mexico that we've been bringing in, I think there's some of the greatest athletes I've ever seen in any sport, in any walk of life.
All right, Tony Khan with us. I got a few more minutes, and I know you got a hard out, so I won't keep you past it. But people are asking, Adam Copeland, is there a story there? Are they going to not see him for a little bit? What's the story with Cope right now?
Well, Brent, I'm used to working with you in football, and I see you at every Jags game. I've known you for 14 years through the NFL, and I have so much fun getting to do wrestling interviews with you. You're such a well-prepared interviewer, whether it's the NFL or pro wrestling. So this is really great. Adam Copeland, it was very unfortunate what happened with his family, particularly his wife, after the great match in Toronto, Copeland and Christian versus FTR. Adam Copeland is still a big part of AEW, but after what happened with his wife, I think he's going to have to take some time away. But absolutely, Adam Copeland is very important here in AEW. We're so happy he's just reunited with Christian Cage. I think they're one of the greatest tag teams ever. Individually, they're two of the greatest stars. It was so great for the fans in Toronto to see Adam Copeland and Christian Cage back together. So Adam is very upset about his wife being attacked. But Adam is still a huge part of what we do here in AEW, and we're very lucky to have Adam and Christian Cage here in AEW.
There you go. You heard it from Tony Khan. All right, I got to ask you a football or two before we let you go. How do you feel about what's going on in that building right now? We see it from the outside. You're on the inside. What's your take on Baselli, Gladstone, Cohen, and this football team here in 2025?
It's really great. It's really great working with these guys. I have so much respect for all of the guys you named. I've known Tony for years. I've known Tony for 14 years, and I have so much respect for him. And to see Tony Baselli growing and maturing into this executive role, bringing all the experience he has in the NFL as a player, from his years traveling as a national broadcaster and his years in Jacksonville, being around the building, working in the building. Tony Baselli knows Jacksonville, knows the Jaguars, the organization, the players, and everybody around here very, very well. He's brought a lot of knowledge, and it's really great working with him. I've known him for years, though, and I got to say, it's been so great getting to know and working with James Gladstone and Liam Cohen. They're both very young men. I am just in my early 40s now, and I still feel like a very young guy, and I still try to bring, hopefully, a young energy to the things that I do. And it's actually really nice working with guys that have such a young energy. It's pretty different having the head coach be a few years younger than me and the GM several years younger than me. And I really like it. And I really like both of them, too. Liam is such a brilliant coach, such a brilliant play caller, a great person to work with, a great leader. I think Liam is becoming a great head coach. He's been a great play caller. He's been a great offensive coordinator. He's a great football coach. And I think he's becoming a great NFL head coach very, very quickly on the job. And I'm very impressed with Liam. I think James is such a great person. I think he's a great general manager. Again, I think he's been a great executive, a great scout, a great talent evaluator, a great football executive. And now on the job, he's becoming a great general manager. He's doing great things. He makes all the phone calls. He works the phones on the trades. He works so hard on free agents. He's always brainstorming ideas. He's a very creative guy. And James is such a great person. James is one of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. James is the kind of person you would want babysitting your kids. James is the kind of person, if you got hit by a bus, you'd want taking care of your kids. He's a great, great man. And I just really like all three of these guys. And I think my father did such a great job leading the search. And I thought my dad absolutely picked the right candidates as the Jags leadership. And I think we're all having a great time working together and enjoying it very much.
All right, Tony Khan, 12-18. I told you I'd get you out of here. I will, but a big shout out to Fulham as well. They're off to a nice start. They got a match on Sunday. You got too many entities to fill up 15 minutes, man. But have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week here in Jacksonville, or the early October. Of course, the Monday Nighter, and then AEW Homecoming, Tuesday, October 7th, and Wednesday, October 8th. Thanks, man.
Thank you, Brent. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in San Francisco, buddy.
Yes, sir. We will see you there. That is Tony Khan and AEW Dynamite Title Tuesday. AEW Collision coming to Jacksonville Tuesday, October 7th, Wednesday, October 8th. Once again, if you want to check it out, if you're used to checking it out, if you haven't checked it out, the AEW Homecoming shows, you can get your tickets, AEWTix.com and Ticketmaster. By the way, Tuesdays on TBS and HBO Max, and Wednesday on TNT and streaming now on HBO Max as well. And on top of all that, that week, October 6th, 7th, 8th. Khan family's busy because the Monday Nighter against the Kansas City Chiefs as well is coming up, and that should be a fun time too. So what a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for Tony Khan. Man, I don't mind spending 24 hours a day and all 24 hours in a day. Tony Khan, he sneaks every minute out of those 24 hours, man.
Impressive. Very impressive.
It is impressive. And he is all over the map. And obviously in three major roles with the Jags, Fulham, and AEW. Casey Kurtz joins us coming up. We got weekend wagers. We'll make our picks as well. We're taking to the top of the hour, having some fun here on a Friday. Brent Martineau, Austen Lane from Australia, Jason Hamby, and Casey's up next as well, right after this.
If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit. When you hear that, you think Bono's Pit Barbecue, a staple in Northeast Florida now for 75 years. A place that feels like home with friendly service, a meeting place for friends, family, or business occasions. On the menu, the corn nuggets are a favorite in our house, but there's something for everyone. Sandwiches, platters, salads, sides, desserts, and family feasts. You see Bono's all over the place in Northeast Florida. You know, there are almost 20 locations in the Jacksonville area now, so stop on by, sit down, and dine in with Bono's. You can also take it to go. There are drive-thrus in many of the locations, and they have delivery options too. Just download the Bono's app to make things easy. I signed up for the loyalty program, and you can too, to get special offers. If Jacksonville is home, few things feel more Jacksonville than Bono's Pit Barbecue. Celebrate 75 years and many more to come. Bono's Pit Barbecue. If you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
People helping people. It's at the core of what Alive Credit Union is all about, and it's been that way for over 70 years. From the start in 1954 to today, the mission remains to inspire financial wellness and give you a financially fit lifestyle. Alive Credit Union and its employees are committed to not only serving their valued members, but also our community here in Northeast Florida. I had a chance to see that commitment firsthand as Alive partnered with our Action Sports Jacks 24/7 team to bring you Armada men's and women's soccer broadcasts.
Inside the 18, it is a shot, and it's a goal! Chloe Chivers.
And that connection to the community continues with Alive Credit Union's support of the Police Athletic League of Jacksonville. Alive Credit Union's commitment to our community also involves serving the financial needs of all first responders through the recent merger partnership with City and Police Federal Credit Union. Join the community and become a member of Alive Credit Union today. Find out the many ways you can be inspired in financial wellness at alivecu.coop.
CGC Water Treatment and Plumbing is taking their 75-plus years of expertise and expanding to CGC Home Services. Water treatment and plumbing is still a big part of what they do, and now they can do even more for you. Home services like kitchen and bathroom remodeling, showers, sinks, faucets, toilet repair, backflow testing, and the list keeps going. Find all they can do at cgchomeservices.com or give them a call, 904-298-7052. It's a new look and a new name with the same expertise. They've been serving homes like yours since 1946. CGC Home Services, right here in Jacksonville off St. John's Bluff Road, 904-298-7052. And visit cgchomeservices.com. Florida license number CFC 1432579.
For the game day hustle and every day in between. Juggling my show, Jag Social, to going under the Friday night lights and a social life, it's a daily tournament. But this ride, MVP status. The all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus isn't just my car, it's my personal locker room, office on the go, and VIP lounge on wheels. Let's talk tech. My profile remembers everything from customizing my dash display to setting the ambient lighting and my signature scent. And wireless charging, essential for live tweeting scores. Whether I'm packing for a beach day with friends or heading to the gym, there's space for every passion. After dominating all day, this becomes my recovery zone. The massage feature is like having a personal PT on call. Life's a non-stop game, but with this ride, I'm always on my A game. The 2024 Lincoln Nautilus. Drive your passion.
Grab some friends and go to a restaurant or head out for a drink and some conversation. Watch your favorite team play on the big screen. Or how about play some games? You can do all of that in one night at Best Bet. Each location has a different vibe, its own personality, like here at the original Best Bet in Orange Park. When you walk through these doors, everybody knows your name. And here in St. Augustine, it's the newest location. Play some poker. How about the table games? And don't forget about Ace's Sports Bar and Grill. And then there's the Jacksonville location right here on Monument Road. It's the biggest poker room in the state of Florida. Maybe you'll find yourself a seat right here at the final table. Best Bet, where you can have the best of times. And that makes you always go home a winner. Try any of the 3 locations, and you can always visit bestbetjacks.com.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jacks 24/7 network.
Oh, yeah, it's time for the weekend spreads. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, Jason Hamby. Of course, Austen Lane involved, but he's down under and get ready to corner a UFC fight, so he won't be participating, at least, on the air.
Oh, we talked about it.
You guys have group think on this. Hopefully,
oh, yeah.
You're going to figure stuff out because
We're
you,
ready.
quite frankly, haven't figured it out just yet. Kind of like the American team in the Ryder Cup. Just a real quick thought here. I like the fact that you're complaining about it, so I can too. Look, I even wore my Team USA shirt today.
Look at you trying.
I have a couple of Ryder Cup shirts, and I don't really know why I do. I like the Ryder Cup stuff, but I'm a big I saw this at PGA Tour Superstore. I was picking stuff up for the Dream 18 last week, and they had all their Ryder Cup stuff out. It's really nice.
The hats are cool.
Yeah, so some of the stuff's great. I'm not there.
My buddy is, actually.
Is he?
Yeah.
And I know somebody else that's there too, but I'm just I'm not there. I'm not Bethpage Black Ryder Cup commemorative stuff.
Yeah.
Is a little odd because I'm not there. This is just
overall.
This could be used at any time.
President's Cup.
Yeah, this is old. This is look, I think a Puma shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Probably from
Carlsbad,
6 years old or 8
Georgia.
years old. But do you get like that when you're buying stuff? If I brought you back something from Augusta, right, and it said 2025 Masters on it, are you wearing it
Or
people are going to ask you if you were there.
Yeah.
And you're like, no, actually, I wasn't there.
I'm not a big fan of the dated.
Yeah, Masters is a little bit of a bad option.
Because most of
here
it just says
because,
Masters.
Well, not only that, but you can't get the Masters anywhere else. So it's like, hey, if you want, you can't go to Dick's and get Masters gear.
By the way, when you go next year, if they have those hats that say patron again,
You
the
like
green ones with the rope,
Yeah.
buy them all.
Buy them all.
I'm not kidding.
Really? I had two.
I'll take care of
I got Amen Corner, and because they have one for that, and
Yeah.
they also have what are the one I had on? Skip It. I had to explain that to you one time when I wore it.
Oh, that's-
Remember?
is it a
I
hat?
don't remember
Yeah.
that.
Oh, I didn't know they did
Skip
all
It
those.
hat's
I
pretty
hadn't
good.
seen those.
So
Yeah, no,
but
the green
what was the
patron
one you said?
Patron. Buy them all.
I have a shirt that says Patron on it.
It's not a rope hat.
What? So you said, what do these sell good?
I want one, but yes, they do sell good. All the master stuff sells good.
I would imagine.
Or like the gnomes. Like you got to stop.
Well, the gnomes go out.
Well, stop working and get to the gift shop early.
Yeah, the problem with the gnomes is like it's hard to carry them with what we're doing. Like people literally go out, put the gnomes in their car, and then come back, which I
Hey,
guess we could do.
Go out.
Why are the gnomes so big? Like, where are you putting
I
the
don't
gnome?
know. I've never understood.
In your garden?
I've never understood the appeal with the gnomes, but dude, I'm in like Facebook groups of like golf merch, obviously, but like
First thing they sell out of.
the gnomes, people will post them at like 7 a.m. on Monday morning or Monday mornings. People are selling them on the Facebook, and they're just
popping off.
Amazing.
It is wild.
But yeah, the Americans are in some.
Yeah, it's just they're down 3-1, so we did salvage a point. But
Oh, they did pull that off?
yeah.
That's amazing.
So that's good. I mean, because that's like really embarrassing. And already Keegan Bradley's getting some heat.
Yeah, I feel
because
bad
of
for
the
Keegan.
pairings. I think Keegan Bradley in a way should get heat for this. And you know I was a fan of this. I think he should have played in it. One,
he should have.
The United States team isn't good enough. It's not deep enough. He's actually one of the best players on the team. And two, they have too many of these guys. Stoic. Even Scheffler, who's the best in the world, is just DeChambeau's their only fiery guy.
And Keegan
Bradley would be the fiery guy. He'd get the crowd today was awful outside of the first tee.
Yeah.
They weren't even into it. At least when I was watching. I didn't watch the whole thing. But yeah, it's a bummer. A little disappointed. I hate losing to Team Europe in the Ryder Cup.
They're going to get slaughtered.
I think they're just going to get routed.
They don't even need to play on Sunday. That's what I was originally worried about come Sunday, because you have a lot of guys that haven't been there before or in that position, right? And no shot at them, but even a guy like Keegan, who's won a major, he's going to handle that moment. You've got a bunch of guys on Sunday that if you need to win, it's tied, I don't think they're ready for that. We're on the Europe side, all of them are just battle tested. Ryder Cup, majors, all of it.
And gritty, and they got the personality that fits. Listen, hat tip, they're just better. This isn't a knock on Team USA in this sense.
Better, more
They're
experienced.
better. And we all know it. I couldn't believe, I've been saying this 400 times today. I can't believe the United States was favored in this thing. It's unbelievable that they were favored.
It is really
It's going to be one of the worst lines of all time.
Yeah, it's a great point. Because a lot of, their guys haven't even played well this, Scotty, obviously.
Yeah.
But, Xander hasn't done anything this year. Cantlay's been terrible.
And even the United States has history of the best guy in the world that plays for the United States doesn't usually play well in this.
That's true.
Phil, Tiger.
Yeah, it's never.
And Scotty's now 0-2 in foursomes or whatever it is. Did you see the one thing I think I sent you guys? Scotty Scheffler had 0 wins on PGA Tour the last time the Ryder Cup was played in the United States.
That's amazing.
Insane.
Because that was only
4 years ago. He had 0 wins on tour. He's got 18.
That is insane.
Isn't that crazy? What a stat.
He still doesn't have any in the Ryder.
Hey, a little bit. I want to make sure we get some of this in, some of the celebration from the Jumbo Shrimp a little bit later on, if we can, Hamby, okay? I saw some autographers outside yesterday after the championship. I didn't see you, Casey.
I wasn't there.
There's stuff more valuable with the winning the International League championship?
Sure.
Damn it.
No, sir. Good. Here's the thing.
Joe Mack, good guy, by the way.
Oh, the best.
Interviewed him twice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I go interview him right after.
Yeah.
And then I was live on TV at 10:50. I'm like, hey, Joe, you mind coming on again? We're live this time. Because he was still, not a lot, everybody was out there, but he was. And so he leaves the stadium after. We're out there, going to our cars. And we're like, hey, Joe, you got time for one more interview?
He would have done it.
We're just kidding. He actually started to come over.
He's the nicest. He's one of the nicest human beings to ever.
Yeah,
be
he's
born.
really nice.
He's the man.
Good for them.
And he had a really good year too. So shout out to him.
This is one of the great things in sports. You can do this. They were waiting for Carpenter. He's a good dude, too.
Shocker, former Brave.
Come on now.
Good guy. Really good guy.
He is former.
We had him on the show. Remember, he was awesome
Yeah,
when we
he
had him on
was.
the
He
show.
was cool. That boy, Bat Boy. Bat Boy's in there.
Yeah.
Kind of. He's in there as much as Brent's in there.
There's Matthew
Yeah,
Maynard.
well, I wasn't getting champagne all over my...
I respect that.
There was so much champagne smell. I said, man, I'm driving home. If I get pulled over, this isn't going to go well.
That's true.
That's how much you reek of champagne after this stuff.
I saw, that's cool, man. I saw one of the Marlins beat reporters posted that like a lot of the guys were watching it.
I saw that too. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because there's like, I think there's a part of it that's like bittersweet because obviously you want to be in the majors. But like a guy like Troy Johnston, who's been here for like 3 years, he's in the majors and by the way, crushing, good for him. But like, I bet he's got to be like, well, damn.
Yeah, would have been nice to be there for one night.
Those
right?
those are the boys. So yeah, it's cool, man. Shot a lot of good guys in that group. That's all I'm going to say there. A lot of good guys in that group, and I'm glad that all of those good guys got to celebrate that. A lot of good guys in that group, for sure.
Okay. I think it's awesome. I thought the whole thing was cool. All right, I'll get my shots in. Where the hell were you, other TV stations?
Oh, I like this. Let's clown them.
No, listen, I like the people.
I don't.
At the other places,
I don't like
our
them at
media
all.
is nice. This is what concerns me about our industry.
It's not there?
We're the only sports people there. Outside of Clayton Freeman.
Shout out Clayton.
That radio station in town. Claims to be local, has 50-plus people that work there. They ain't there.
Where the hell were you?
TV stations in town. I think one of the TV stations across the street sent a guy over for like the last out, and that was it. Didn't get reaction.
Cool. I was going to clown him hard, so I'm glad.
I mean, it's 50 feet away.
50 feet away.
Legitimately couldn't be closer.
I mean, listen, we didn't have it in our plans either. But you got to go cover it. Like, this is how, like, local sports dies in TV.
Yeah.
Because you don't go cover this stuff. I was on a heater yesterday for the industry. Like, seriously. Like, this is why we got to deal with stuff we got to deal with in our industry. Because you don't go cover stuff like that.
And it's a freaking AAA team at the end of the day.
It's a championship.
Well, I mean, and it's...
Half those guys have spent time in the bigs.
It's also something that you could very realistically say will never happen again. Wow, people that are working in this market right now work here.
That's
like,
true.
it's not an easy thing to do. We documented this yesterday. Like, 2 teams make the playoffs every year from your conference, if you will. Like, what are the odds the Shrimp are going to do that again and do it at home, be the home team to win it? Like, it's an extremely tough thing to do.
It's rare. It's, again, like we're covering it in news. It's a story. It's a cool story. It's a fun thing. Those scenes, those pictures, those are good. Listen, I don't care. We beat their ass on it. That's fine. But I care for the industry. Like it's a bad thing for.
It's lazy. That's what it is.
That's what I've always said. We're going to write a book someday called "Local" or "Sports Directors Killed Local Sports." And it's because of these kind of things. Like, you don't go cover that is insane.
I agree.
But,
scum behavior. You got to be better.
Yeah, but we'll be at like a Friday news conference at 10 a.m. for the Liam Cohen for the 14th time where you can just get it off YouTube if you really need it.
Get them. Let's name names. Who you got? Yeah, you did. I saw it. Hamby already ripped some of that for his own self.
Oh, we did. But everybody does. Like, you can get it.
I'm not.
Well, you
complaining.
couldn't get the highlights of the Shrimp, too. But there's a difference between being there in that moment.
The highlight.
Like, I don't care if you even covered game 1 or game 2. Game 3, you should be there.
All due respect to the Shrimp, the highlights don't matter.
Yeah, it was
what matters is what you got.
Yeah.
Right? Once in a lifetime.
All right, thanks
thing.
for letting me get that off my chest.
I think we keep going.
Yeah, I could go for a while.
Y'all are scum. Do better. You should have been there for my guy Joe Mack.
Don't take the shot personally.
Take it personally.
Just be good for the industry. You got to fight for the industry sometimes. That's what we're in a position that we have to do.
Do
so
better.
You got to do it.
Do better. You can't do any worse, so you might as well do better.
Examples of this too over the years.
What you got? Go ahead.
No, I'm not going to go back.
Can we start naming names?
It's just another chapter in the book that got written last night.
Shame on you.
I'm going to write this book, and nobody's going to read it, by the way, because who gives a damn, right? It's what people are saying right now.
You'll have fun.
But I'll have fun writing the book.
If you saw your favorite local sports personality wasn't at the Shrimp, send him a DM on Twitter and say, shame on you.
Hats off
Scum.
that Clayton Freeman was there. Gene Fournette retired was there.
Oh, yeah.
I meant to
As a
tell
fan.
you.
No, but he was taking notes,
I know.
man.
I meant to tell you the other night, Monday night, I was down there, and Gene came out of like the visitors' locker room area.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I was like, my dog.
Yeah.
You called it. Retired people are there, and you're on the clock, not there, other sports entities. You guys just might as well quit. Huh? Yeah, go cover the Gators. What's Billy Napier saying? Scum.
Anyway, that is our Republic Services recycled headlines.
I like that.
Simplified.com. The Jacksonville
Sponsor.
Jumbo Shrimp International League champions. Also, Liam Cohen did talk today about and address the Robert Saleh stuff for about 90 seconds. He didn't say much. He didn't really want to engage in that conversation. He said he'll do that later, but focused on San Francisco. The Saleh stuff was a big story over the last 15, 18 hours. If you missed it, basically said the Jags and Liam Cohen and that coaching tree, like Minnesota, LA, other teams, do a really good job of legally stealing signs.
I like it a lot.
Which seems impossible to legally steal. But hey, we don't think it was that big a deal. We think it was a bad word choice for Saleh, but maybe there's some gamesmanship involved. I don't think it's bulletin board material. I will say Liam Cohen looked a little annoyed by it, and how he handles that down the road, who knows? But maybe that's just like the unwritten rules of coach speak in news conferences, because it was at least, I thought it was meant as a compliment. I think it was interpreted by
From
social
Saleh?
media and everybody else as a criticism.
Okay.
The only thing that I conspiracy theory at all here was that a little shot to the league office from Saleh to say,
Pay attention.
are you guys going to do something about this? That was the only thing I could think of, and I'm not suggesting he did. I'm just trying to find why he would have said it that way. But it's kind of interesting. A little footnote to this week. I don't think it impacts the game at all. Like, what's the impact? They're going to do what they do.
Yeah, how what are we thinking that like they just watch a lot of film? How do you steal signs from a headset?
Yeah, no, it's off of the hand signals.
It's
kind of
when they
so
can't play, right? So they got the original play, but when they get to their other play, the hand signals show kind of if you know them or if you can see their tail, much like a pitcher tipping his
right.
pitches.
So basically, what I'm hearing is
it's really Trevor Lawrence.
Now, what you're hearing is the Jags are really well prepared and they study.
Okay, yeah, so the Jags are watching hella film.
That's why I think it was a compliment.
Okay, that's really odd.
I do. I just think everybody else took, because he said the word stealing. If he had said they're really
That's
good
fair.
at seeing tendencies.
Yes.
I don't think this is a story at all today.
Saul's a good dude. Probably didn't mean it in a bad.
Well, people are now saying, well, he's just mad he didn't get the job, and those kind of things.
Well.
But I think this show, again, I think it was a compliment. I think it was a bad word choice, and I think it's great that it shows that, hey, the Jacksonville Jaguars have a smart staff, very detailed staff, and people are paying attention to the staff. They know that they have a chess match when they play against the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think that's a pretty good thing.
That's interesting.
Hate to do this, but unless y'all want to be here till 2, here we go. Weekend Spreads brought to you by Mason's famous lobster rolls. Check them out, especially at the Town Center.
Thank you.
Really good stuff over there.
Up in Fernandina Beach, too. MasonsLobster.com, but nice job, Hamby.
Yeah, you got it. No problem, buddy. Here we go. 6 games. Forgot to throw up the full screen of the tally, but we are up by 1 on the sports office, and we're up by 6 on Casey and Austin.
That's all we care about.
That's all we care about. So, Austin, go ahead and kick us off. Or excuse me, Casey and Austin.
That's okay. I'll take it.
With all of your communication skills.
Similar beard.
It's close. We're basically the same guy. If you saw us at the airport, you'd be like, oh, that's Austen Lane.
Facts. Here we go.
You're not on a
FSU,
kangaroo right now.
first road test at Virginia. Are they sleeping? Are they looking ahead at Miami? Are they not?
Yeah.
What do you got?
This one I put in here for you after the conversation we had yesterday. Me and Austin are on the same page here. We're going Florida State. Minus 6.5. Virginia, I don't care that they score points against teams that don't matter. Florida State is just straight stomping people. I don't think they'll stomp Virginia in the way that they stomped, the Kent States of the world. But I think they comfortably win by 7. I know there's some concern looking ahead, but I think Florida State. Me and Austin both agree that Florida State's going to win.
Hamby, how you feel here? Because, I kind of like Florida State, too. I think people are playing this up a little too much, but they also might be right on the money, right? This is a technical trap game. Eyes ahead. Friday night. Virginia's not bad. They're not good, but they're not bad.
Yeah.
And so the 6.5, I feel like they're just going to either put it on they're just going to step on their throat and win big, or it's going to be like, hey,
Yes.
You might have to sweat this sucker out.
Agreed.
Yeah, especially with on a short week, right? You're playing a game early. That's going to benefit the home team. And FSU this is their first road test. There are always kinks to work through in your first road game of the season, especially with a new offensive coordinator, a new QB. Half your offense is new. So I feel like there could be in for a slow start, which is why I think this game will be pretty close. If you want to take FSU winning, if you see it as a 10-point game, so you want to take FSU by the spread, I'm comfortable with it. But I wouldn't hate taking Virginia.
Let's have some fun with this one. We'll go Virginia. And
we're only down 5.
I'll give you this. The one thing that I'm kind of mixed bag on is Castellanos. If he hurt himself a little bit toward the end of that one. So does that take away his legs? His legs do they want to make sure he's not running around too much to make sure that he's good to go for next week too?
Yeah.
That is a little bit in the back of my mind, and I think he can be dangerous when he's moving on the running part of things from the quarterback position. All right, how about Bama and Georgia? What about what are the
sports office is taking FSU?
Okay, so we're alone there. Bama, Georgia.
Make it quick, Hamby.
I know what we're going with.
Yeah, well, I mean, first time in 10 years, first time that Georgia is hosting Alabama in Kirby Smart's tenure.
Wow, that's wild.
Fans have been anticipating and waiting on this specific game for legitimately 10 years. I can't wait to watch it. I do think Georgia. I think this is I don't think this should be a 2.5-point spread. I don't think Alabama's shown enough. I do think Ty Simpson got a bad rap after week 1, but there is a slight drizzle in the forecast. Advantage Georgia even more. I think this is a 7 to 10 point comfortable win. Georgia's in firm control, at least in the second half.
All right, we'll take Georgia. Sports office took Georgia. What do you got?
I'm going to say this just because it's relevant now. Austin said some things about the game and then said, plus Hamby will go on about how Georgia will dominate, and when he flexes his chest about a game, it comes back to bite him, so we will take Alabama.
Hey, how about Penn State 3.5 over Oregon? Is that too much? You guys love Oregon.
Well, I mean, I was anticipating seeing Oregon in this text. He wants to go Penn State because the offensive line, the ability to run the ball. I'm overruled him. Give me the Ducks. I'm all in.
Let's go.
Dan Lanning, this is your last chance.
Sports office took Oregon as well. I'm not on Penn State. I get it. They're at home, wide out, all that stuff. Dante Moore, it's going to be tough for him 4 games into his Oregon career. But I'm not a believer in Drew Aller, and it's put up or shut up time regardless for Penn State. They've been saying it for years. Whether it was Trace McSorley or Sean Clifford or Drew Aller, it's plug and play, and they've never proven it to me in a big game.
I'm going to trump you here because here's the deal. On the whiteout, they're probably going to win this football game. So now you're saying, okay, I think they're going to win, which usually is 3. Can they get a half a point more? I think this is a bit of a statement game for Penn State. I think they're the better team coming into it. I think Oregon's got to fly all the way over, all this other stuff. I think this is a proof. Sometimes the regular season games are more important to one team or the other. This is more important to Penn State to look good for the long run of the season, and I think the Nittany Lions will. I'll take Penn State.
Disagree.
We are riding with that. All right, to the NFL we go. Eagles and Bucks. Tough one to pick right here, I think, because of that 3.5 on the road, Hamby. What do you think?
We're all different so far, right? You guys have Virginia.
Yes, we're all different.
Wow, I like that.
We're getting our 6 back right here.
Evans being out, I think, is a big one.
Yeah, he's out for a few weeks.
So, I mean, just as simple as that, I think the Eagles are playing good football.
They've won 19 out of 20. Is that right? Did I see that right? Hear that right? Is that like possible? I guess so. They're Super Bowl champs.
Won all the playoff games, yeah.
But I really like the home team when you're getting that half a point. That's just me.
You want to
so
Bucks?
this is 50-50 for me.
Here's what I'd say. The Bucks are pretty fortunate to be 3-0, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Do they play better football here or they get out? Let's go with the Eagles, man.
All right.
I think it's a safer play.
Fire the cannons, baby. Give us the Bucks.
We might open the door for them there. How about the sports office?
They are taking the Eagles.
Okay.
This one, I think, as people will see in a few minutes when we do our bets, the Rams are my lock of the week out of every game in the NFL. This one here, I think, is the Rams all the way.
Yeah, it does feel like that. The Colts going to 4-0. But the Rams, man, they're reeling a little. They blew that lead against the Eagles. So we're going Rams, obviously.
Yeah.
Well, listen, we're taking the Fighting Carly Ursay's on the West Coast. She will refuse to be embarrassed, according to Austin. I guess, why not? We'll take the Colts. I wasn't really sure on that, but once you guys picked the Rams, it locked me into the Colts.
That is a hell of a storyline, by the way, going on in Indianapolis. That part.
Yeah.
All right. She's become this.
Saw her at practice yesterday.
Yeah, that's right. You see her every week.
Yep.
You don't usually see the owner.
By the way, before we even make the last pick, this is it for the pick segment. Mason, sorry about it. This is it. Like, if me and Austin screw this up again, it's over. We'll be down 12. Like, we're not coming back from that. We're either going to be tied or, like, down 12.
And which means y'all have to be taking the 49ers here because every pick's got to be different because we're definitely taking the Jags. Aren't we?
Yeah, I especially at 3.5. I told you a little bit I was concerned about the physicality part for a fourth week going out there. I do think the Jags, like on paper, feel like a better team right now than San Francisco. But that West Coast bothers me in my psyche alone. I hope it's not the Jags psyche. Yeah, but I'm going to probably end up picking the Jaguars to win. So, yeah, let's go with the Jags.
Let's do it.
While I can. 2-1, baby. You don't get to pick the Jags all the time in games like this. I'm doing it.
All right, well, Austin wants to pick the Jags.
You want to go 6-0?
I kind of want to pick the. Shut up, man. I kind of want to pick the Jags.
I've already penciled it in, Casey.
What?
I've already wrote it. What y'all are taking down?
What, the Niners?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll take the Niners. For the sports office, Florida State, Georgia, Oregon, Eagles, Rams, and Jaguars. Meanwhile, we are opposite in every one.
Once
this
again,
should be a fun week.
Sports office, could you please show up one time?
Mason's Famous Lobster Rolls. Check them out, masonslobster.com. Town Center in Fernandina Beach. Let's hit a break. In the final 5 minutes of the show, we'll do our weekend wagers, and we'll be right back on the Brent Austen Show.
Nice.
Welcome inside the Armor Guard exterior and gutter helmet showroom. There's a lot going on, like glass exteriors, replacement windows, and down there we have the retractable screens and awnings, plus hurricane protection. Let's talk more about those gutters, and to do that, we bring in Kevin. He's the owner, he's the expert. Why Gutter Helmet?
Well, Gutter Helmet's truly the only maintenance-free product. It lets the trash and debris go on the ground, the water wraps around and goes inside. Unlike filters, they sit on top of the gutters, and the trash and debris build up on top of filters, which requires maintenance. With Gutter Helmet, we're going to keep you off the ladder, the most dangerous thing in your garage. With Gutter Helmet, you'll never clean your gutters again. So get off the ladder and put on the helmet. Gutter Helmet.
Get a free estimate at gutterhelmetofnorthflorida.com. You can also call 904-762-7779 or visit the showroom on St. John's Bluff Road in Jacksonville.
Empower a future, inspire a dream. It's a bold but simple mission for the Jacksonville Police Athletic League known as Jax PAL. Help the next generation of kids in Jacksonville shape a brighter future. Their after-school programs, teenage leadership programs. There's community outreach.
This has been just an awesome opportunity to be out here with my colleagues and do something good for the community. It's really been an interesting opportunity to just see everybody work together in a way that we don't normally in the office.
And there's sports. There are also ways you can help the next generation with a donation of any kind. Just visit jaxpal.org to get more information. Empower a future, inspire a dream with Jax PAL.
It's one of the hot spots in the area.
Welcome you to String Sports Brewery out at the beach. Big crowd on hand tonight. The fans are here.
And now, the newest hot spot at the beach is open. String Sports Brewery in Jax Beach has opened its doors with rave reviews.
We're going to be fans forever.
Cozy up to the bar, grab a seat in the sports-themed restaurant, or grab a seat outside and feel that breeze coming off the beach as the weather warms. Just like the original location in Springfield, try the popular beer menu and come for lunch or dinner too, because the food is fantastic.
We got a special guest in the house. He's happy. He's feeling good. He's Trayvon Walker.
It's where we hosted Jags Report Live in the football season. and the String Sports Brewery staff can't wait to host you. Hey, welcome back here to String Sports Brewery. And if you haven't checked out the new location in Jax Beach, you got to do it. String Sports Brewery, now with 2 locations in Springfield and now open in Jax Beach on Penman Road.
There's a saying in sports, you can't win them all, but you can win a lot with good folks on your team. Like that one painter, First Coast. It's tough to beat the sun in Florida, so your home fades. It's tough to beat that HOA when they come calling. Beat the sun, beat the HOA with that one painter, First Coast. And it's a good time to do it. Less rain to work around, and painting in mild temperatures is perfect. After all, the paint bonds to the surface so much better. Give that one painter First Coast a call at 904-417-3557 or look them up at first-coast.thatonepainter.com. Fast estimate, guidance on color and HOA requirements, and the highest quality job you'll find anywhere. Be a big winner in your neighborhood with that one painter First Coast on your team.
Sun's out, suits out. That's right, it's summertime in Florida, which means it's time to say goodbye to bulking season and hello to shredding season. But if you're like me, you're having a hard time sculpting and shaping those final pounds. That is until I came and saw my friends over at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Right now, everyone is hopping on the Evolve X train, and the only destination is finding your perfect summer body. The technology uses electrical muscle stimulation and radio frequency energy to cause your muscles to contract, all while heating up those deep layers of your skin and tissue to produce collagen and reduce fat. It's like doing 1,000 sit-ups in 30 minutes. No pain, no needles, just results, right? That's right. So leave those winter layers back at the station and come look and feel your best with the team here at Ponte Vedra Vein and Aesthetics. Visit them at one of their 2 locations, either over in Ponte Vedra or on the south side.
Welcome back to the Brent and Austen Show, streaming on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
Yeah, look at Hamby's like, hey, we're never going to get out of here in 7 minutes. Well, not if you're in here, Hamby. Better go back in.
Here we go.
That was a good sprint.
Nope.
That's
nope.
not it.
And here we go.
Champagne
All right.
celebration.
This is...
What you got?
Let me show this really quick one more time, just so everybody is aware of the stakes. Okay. So I'm up by a thread. I have no confidence. I know I got to hit bets.
I respect that.
Casey, you definitely got to hit one. You got to bank on Austin being able to get one. And I think that as I've seen yours really quick, you're playing it safe. You know you got to get on the board. So nobody's safe. 1 week to go before the darts.
There is a scenario you lose, by the way, Hamby.
Oh, I understand.
Because Austin's not playing it safe.
He's not.
I mean, his are all like 70.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Let's see what you got.
Forget it.
Rifle through it.
I had nothing to say.
So college only on the left, 5-bet parlay, 5 to win 30. Vanderbilt, they've been printing money for me. A&M to win at home against Auburn. Tennessee to handle business on the road against Mississippi State. Not a believer yet. Georgia, obviously.
He did it again.
And Georgia Tech minus 4.5 against Wake Forest. All right, 3-bet parlay here. I got Europe. I'm riding the wave here is all the talk of why they're the way they are.
150. Now, just so you know that you picked them to be a winner outright. They can actually still retain the cup if they tie. There's a difference there.
Whatever. I got it. Whatever.
Yeah, the part that said lift the cup is them actually winning. Go on.
Yeah. So and then I'm pairing that with Georgia money line and Lions money line. This is my safe get on the board. 5 to win 25. NFL only 5-bet parlay. Bills, Lions, Titans. I'm going Titans again. I didn't learn from last week. I still don't believe the Texans are beating anybody by more than 2 touchdowns.
Agreed.
Rams, obviously, my play of the day. And then Jaguars plus 10.5. I like that value. And then I did a 9-bet parlay.
Oh, goodness.
Plus 1,000, 5 to win 55. Pretty much a conglomerate of all these teams.
Okay, so you'll be done. You could be done again.
By 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
Yes.
Not necessarily, because I have an NFL only.
One NFL only.
Yeah.
With 5 teams, like that ain't gonna happen.
Why not?
I mean, the Packers thought they were beating the Browns too.
All right.
Didn't.
All right, Brent, we're gonna go you next.
All right.
Oh, again with the phone.
You can say again all the time. It's not changing. So I'll do this one at a time if Amby wants to present it. That's okay. And I know he's got some gymnastics to work through back there. I'm not criticizing. I got to see what I picked.
Oh, my goodness.
I got a little, what's this, a 5-teamer as well?
Yes.
Chargers just to win. The Rams to win. The Chiefs getting 3.5 up that. The Jets to get 3.5 over I actually think the Jets are going to win.
I do too.
And so I was like, okay, I'll just give them 3.5. And the Broncos.
It's 3.5 the spread, or did you buy?
2.5. I bought up a point. So the Broncos also to win.
Is 3.5 the Chiefs too?
No, I bought up a point there too. Made it though. It was 2.5.
That one ain't hitting.
So 2.5 home team. Chiefs. You think Ravens are going to win?
Yeah. If Henry would hold on to the ball in the nicest way.
So I got that. I too took Europe at. By the time I got it, it was 105.
Is that what you got at real life at?
No.
Okay, same.
I love how Brent has 3 live. You can see that he's got action on 3 other things on the top.
Yeah.
At the time of this placing.
That's
right. I want to see what's in that tab.
Yeah, you should.
Actually, I want to see the finish tab.
However, I bought the points down for the Notre Dame game. They might score 53 by themselves against Arkansas.
I like that. Well, Taylor Green's unreal.
How about Ohio State just to win? Isn't that kind of crazy? Like,
yeah,
again, it's big money. It's not like easy money.
Well, dude, the spread this morning was
like
only
8.5.
8.5.
You don't get Ohio State that often like that.
No.
And Washington's played well.
Okay.
But, and then Tennessee to win at Mississippi State. Sorry, Hail State fans and my neighbors. Then the other one, we're going a little bit, try to get something here, right? I'm going to take Florida State actually to win bigger than we even said they would.
I like that.
LSU, I thought, was great value at Ole Miss at plus 100, even though I'm not a big fan of them.
Agreed.
Georgia, to kind of do what Hamby thinks they're going to do.
in Georgia.
Well, again, this is my risky pick that if they could win by a touchdown, it'd still be a good game. And then Penn State, I think the same way. I think Penn State's going to really win here. So
I respect
I need some things to go right, but I thought it was a halfway decent play to get some big dollars.
I respect it a lot. That one.
That was actually the most thought I've ever put into this week.
Really?
Week, yeah.
Because you're buying points.
Well, because I was watching the Ryder Cup this morning, so I had time.
I respect it. Hamby, let me tell you, Hamby is a big real life point buyer. He's like talking to me yesterday.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, Florida State's like 6.5. I think I'm going to buy him down to like 2.5.
Yeah.
I'm like, why?
I ended up not going with him at all.
The point
Gave up on him.
stuff is good though.
Bro loves to buy points over, under, up, down, left, right, double circle.
Had Seattle plus 10.5 and 36 over yesterday. Good thing Arizona came back late.
All right, Casey, this is you.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. I'll start on the left. We got Indiana minus 6.5. I'm not sure Iowa can score 7. And after what Indiana did to Illinois, I figure they have to smash Iowa. It's only right. Tennessee minus 6.5. Mississippi State's still terrible, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
They're better.
But terrible?
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll take Tennessee to win by a touchdown. I think that can happen. And then Memphis, who beat Arkansas last week. Watch that game. Had Arkansas. That was disappointing. Now they go play Florida Atlantic in what has to be some of the weirdest scheduling of all time. You have Arkansas at home, and then you go to Florida Atlantic. Not sure what the hell's going on in Memphis.
Are they in the same conference? It might be in the same conference.
Really?
Memphis and Florida.
Dude, the fact that you're betting on Memphis FAU is just...
Well, dude, they're
Is
going
that
to
like a Conference USA or something? Might be.
Maybe. They just beat an SEC team. I'm assuming they could beat Florida Atlantic by 14.
Nice.
I couldn't even begin to tell you who Florida Atlantic's coach is, but I think Memphis gets them by 14. In the middle, James Cook for 65. They are playing the Saints, so he might have 165. 10 rushing yards in the first quarter is a lock. Alvin Kamara's only going to be able to run the ball in the first quarter because when they're down 106, they're going to be throwing.
Great point.
And then Kincaid, 25 is a lock. Europe to win. That was this morning, obviously, after it was already 3-0 or 2-0. Then give me Trevor Rogers going back to the well, playing the Yankees again to strike out some fools.
Every Friday.
Every Friday, this guy's just striking out Yankees left and right. And then give me Rays Blue Jays under a run in the first inning. That's Shane Bieber and somebody for the Rays who I hope is not going to give a
Tough weekend to bet on baseball, too. I was trying. But
it is, but the Blue Jays need to win, so
Yeah.
they're going to try, and the Rays have nothing to play for.
Fair
so, enough. It's like Aaron Clive, I think, for the Rays. So anyway, no runs in the first inning there. And then
Civale? Civale?
I don't know. It's not Clive?
No.
I've called him Clive to his face. Anyway. And then on the bottom, give me Florida State to win by a touchdown. Vanderbilt, known point scorers, as is Utah State. So
Yeah,
I
that's
think
a
they
great
score
bet.
50. And then Ohio State just to win like you. I don't understand that one fully.
That's a get on the board play.
That's a get on the board play. But realistically, I think all these are getting on the – like, I don't think there's anything here that's that dangerous.
Yeah.
Other than if somebody hits a yak in the first inning in that one, everything else
I've noticed
feel
that
like
he has to hit all 4 of these to pass me.
I'm just trying not to lose.
I get it. No, I get it. I think it's the right play by you, but I'm just feeling pretty good about that.
Cool.
And then
bro, it's 101.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Well, Austin.
I got cut off live?
No, you're not cut off.
On the network.
On the network. Cut off.
There's some people right now that are like, what happened?
I can find us on social media. Where we go overtime.
Here, I can.
But I got to get out of here. I got a meeting at 1:30.
All right, here's Austin's first play. He's going 3 bets, 7-7-6. He's got Olave over to get 6 receptions.
Nope.
Ashton Ginty to get over 65. Can one of y'all read this, actually?
Ashton Ginty, 65 yards in the game. I don't see that one happening. Ladd McConkey over 63.5 against the Giants. Josh Jacobs to score a touchdown. That one's questionable because right now he's not even sure he's playing in the football game. Tonight you got 2 home run props. He's got Giancarlo Stanton against Trevor Rogers. So
straight up shot in the dark.
Somewhat going against each other there. And then Bryce Harper to hit a home run against Texas. Not sure who's pitching in that one. I'm not going to lie. I saw his James Cook stuff and then went after it. He's got James Cook at 75, which I still think is a lock. He's probably going to score. Jalen Warren, who I think is questionable, to have 85 rushing and receiving, which feels pretty good. And then he's going back to the well on Nico Collins, 71.5. He's taking the over. And yes, if he hits any of these, I need some of mine to hit to get back ahead of him.
Yeah.
So
I'm fascinated by the fact that at one time we did this and he put $25 in with his bets, yet he split this one up accurately 7, 7, and 6.
Actually a great point. That is actually a great point.
He's got time on that flight to Australia.
See, that's what I'm I'm thinking he had to have done it. Then I guarantee he did it today at 2 p.m.
Yeah. All right. Hey, I hope you have a good weekend. We got a lot going on. High school football tonight. We'll be up in Georgia for the game of the week. Coverage starts at 7:30, and then tomorrow night, college football tonight at Action Sports Jax primetime. I'll see you from San Francisco. Full day of Jags coverage on Sunday as well. Cam Little will be on Jags Report Live Monday night at String Sports Brewery. Just confirmed that. So we'll have Cam Little out there, and hope you have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for hanging with us.
Hi, I'm Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville. Whether you're looking for a side-by-side, ATV, motorcycle, or scooter, we have what you need.
Get a Moto Guzzi Stone Corsa for just $235 a month, or a Triumph Trident for as low as $207 a month, or the popular Honda Rebel 1100 DCT starting at a low $204 a month.
Stop by and choose your adventure from all of our great brands, only at Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic Boulevard. Family owned and operated since 1983.
Hello, I'm Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Since 2003, our firm has fought exclusively for the rights of men in family law. Divorce, modification of child support, alimony, custody, and more, all for men. A father is vitally important to a child's life, and being a man is not a reason to pay more in child support or alimony. I'm a single father. I get it. If you have a divorce or other family law issue, contact Kenny Lay & Associates at divorcemenonly.com.
We've been telling you about the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network for over a year now. How to find it, what to see. Simply put, it's TV online. Local sports content all day, every day. Just like this.
Did you always want to make history? Like, think that big, or just say, hey, I want to play in the NFL?
I always say I want to play in the NFL.
Cuts it back to her left side, takes a shot, and into the back of the net. Oh, what a pass.
Oh, my goodness.
What a pass.
And they have been. We've been talking. We've been articulating.
I did have a sense that they wanted to be bold, that they wanted to make a splash.
It's content you won't find on TV. Find it on actionsportsjax.com and just sit back and watch local sports all day on the Action Sports Jax 24/7 network.
How do we make Mason's famous lobster rolls? It's simple. We get up before dawn, head into the open waters of Maine, haul in our traps by hand, and send only the best straight to our restaurants, where we add warm butter or chilled mayo with a squeeze of lemon and pile it on a toasted split-top roll, just like it's been done for nearly a century. That's the recipe for Mason's famous lobster rolls.
What's been going on?
We're both dealing with a lot of guilt right now.
Can't sleep, can't eat.
eating.
You see that brand new Hyundai Santa Fe?